Good morning, motherfuckers. Three, two, one.
Oh dear, and this is already going to be a bit scuffed because I've gone and forgotten to do my opening music, but good evening, motherfuckers! Hello and welcome to Vtuber Talk's Coco Appreciation Show. I'm your host, Jay, and thank you so much for joining us this evening. Tonight is a bittersweet night. In a little under 12 hours, Kiryu Coco's graduation stream will begin. Coco is undeniably one of the biggest personalities in the VTuber community, and the announcement of her graduation shook a lot of people earlier this month. Since then, there's been an outpouring of tributes in the form of text, art, songs, and more, and tonight, on the eve of her graduation, we'll be joined by 7 incredible VTubers, and together we are going to celebrate Coco's legacy. There may be tears along the way, but that's alright, because what is grief if not love persevering? Throughout the show, you're more than welcome to share your own memories and thoughts in the chat. The only rule I have for tonight is that I do not want there to be any discussion regarding the reasons behind Coco's graduation. You can say that you're sad that she's graduating. You can talk about any of the wonderful graduation tributes you've seen, but tonight is for celebration, not speculation. And with all that said, let's get this show on the road. We have a packed lineup tonight. My first guest this evening is actually the very first person that I had on my show. Please welcome LAIN BLANC. Hey, there we are. LAIN, welcome back,
hello.
and in a new doll form.
Well, not necessarily a new doll form. It's my original form. You know,
Very
I can
fair,
go
very
between.
fair.
I can be, 2 foot tall, or I can be 5'5". It's just a matter of some magic and a little bit of love, sweetheart.
Indeed, and folks in the chat, let us know if there's anything wrong with the audio. We're running things through a bit of a new system. We did plenty of sound checks, so I'm confident we're good, but levels can always be quirky. But anyways, LAIN, so how you doing tonight, all things considered?
Honestly, I think more than anything, this is a big marker in history for us as VTubers, because
It is.
while Coco, it has an emotional connection for me, but not as strong as if any certain other members of Hololive were graduating. But as we were previously discussing, this one has a really big. It's historical. This is the first real big Hololive graduation. We've
there have been
Hololive
others that have
China
exited.
didn't get to get the ball running, and then there were 2 others that unfortunately had to
gone.
retire exactly. They retired. So this is the first proper Hololive graduation, and for it to be Kiryu Coco of all people, who is just so
Iconic.
integral. Iconic, integral, needed for VTubing as a whole.
Yeah, there's going to be a lot of talk tonight about just her historical impact of really bridging the gap between English and Japanese viewers. There's no way of knowing, quantifiably the exact impact she's had, but suffice to say, she has had a massive impact on the world of VTubing as we know it, and just by virtue of that, how many people VTubing has reached. Out of curiosity for you, do you remember the first time you heard about Kiryu Coco?
Oh, bloody hell. I remember hearing about Kiryu Coco around the same time I learned about SUUGA, which was before HoloLive EN. I think it was the start of 2020. So not long after her debut. I remember her debut being big and it went viral because, well, it's Kiryu Coco. It's kind of hard not to go viral where she's involved. But I didn't pay it too much heed because at the time, she didn't appeal to me and I didn't know much about her personality. But then as she developed and got bigger and grew and just exploded along with the rest of VTubing, I got to see more of her personality and I was like, oh wait, no, I kind of like this cute dragon. She's chaotic in every way possible and I love her.
Yeah. For me, I got into all this when EN debuted, so it was after Coco's debut, but I remember a friend of mine who had already been into HoloLive directed me to her even before EN's debut, that he had referenced her and been like, there's this one who speaks English relatively fluently, that it seems that she grew up in the States and then later moved to Japan and has been basically the bridge. So I had heard of her in a very peripheral sense, but hadn't actually looked into her past maybe a clip or two that the friend had shown me until after I fell more properly into the rabbit hole. But suffice to say, I grew acquainted with Kiryu Coco very, very quickly, and
it's kind of hard not to when she's involved.
Just
like
in a world of big personalities, hers it just shines so brightly, and just the fact that she very much embraced her oddity as her brand, and the fact that she is so big and boisterous, and goodness,
but she was still
is a
so
showman.
Loving. Like she was big, big, loving, in your face, you know. Good morning, motherfuckers.
I'm
Like,
so glad we're on the same wavelength here.
Good morning, motherfuckers. Arika, thank you. This woman, this dragon, this beautiful being on the face of the earth is so big and so loud and so in your face. Like, you start a stream and if you don't know when you walk into her stream, you better slap an earphone like a headphone warning on her, or you're gonna be like, oh, hello, my brain just got rattled a good second there.
For sure, yeah.
But at the same time, she's still so loving and warm and welcoming. She, like, one thing that really made her inspiring to me was, yeah, she's chaos incarnate, but she's also like everyone's big sister and like the mom figure. Like, she's the chaotic One-chan to an extent, and for some, I'm doll mom or whatever family place that I've been given by members of the community. Like, as
Kaicho, she is that mafia boss that cares deeply for all of her subordinates.
She's perfect.
And just you threaten one of my own, you will be dealing with me.
Mama dragon instead of Mama bear, Mama dragon. She fight, she protect, she attack. But she also talks smack.
Ooh, very good. Do you have a favorite? It could be, either individual piece of Coco's work or maybe just a segment that she's done. That obviously there's Asa Coco, which is prolific at the that's prolific at this point. But she's done so much. Is there anything that, looking back, you say, this is one of the things that just of all time that I'm going to be going back and rewatching this video a lot?
Honestly, and this is gonna sound like a cop-out because it just happened, but the interview with Yago,
oh my god,
really
instant classic if there ever was one.
Instant classic. Like, the interview with Yago was a combination of just sheer insanity, but also trust and loving. But just the fact that it got to happen, and it wasn't an interview. That was the roasting of Yago, and
really
that alone is what made me go, yeah, that, like, because I loved her. I knew her. She was important. But she didn't have the same draw to me like some of the other members of HoloLive. And then I watched the roasting, and I was in literal tears. Like, I was scared the porcelain was gonna crack on my face. I was laughing and crying so hard. I was
And
like,
it's clear
yeah,
that she was having such a ball, and credit to Yago of one letting that happen. That just
taking it.
taking it, letting it happen, and just as I said earlier, we are not going to speculate on Coco's reasons for graduating, but one thing is abundantly clear, and that it was her choice. That a company does not have their CEO go out on the firing line and get roasted like that if they were the ones that pulled the plug on the talent. And as far as
I'm
that
happy
goes,
for her.
it makes me so happy. Yes, that just, I'm happy that she got to go out on her terms, and I'm happy that she's going out on such mutual terms with Hololive that I'm sure they aren't any happier. That goodness knows, she's a cash
Well,
cow. That she
it's
was one of the
also-
highest revenue
exactly.
people on YouTube. That
It's like,
just-
obviously, there is a plausibility of there being some not so great things behind the scenes, but you know what? That's not our business. Yeah, it
Yeah,
could.
it's
Is
not-
it bad?
and-
Could it be bad? Yeah, maybe. It's not our business. We're here
but
to
at
talk
the end of
about
the day,
the good.
of just Yago,
She needs to be happy, and that's what
able to do
matters.
that. Oh, for sure. Yeah. And just the fact that they're able to part on these good terms of just, I did not think that interview was going to happen. And Yago even said himself that he kind of regretted not going on a meme review, and that this was his sort of, okay, I can't do this, but here's something different. Maybe not even, and in my opinion, honestly, it was better because a meme review would have been
It was
another
more
meme review.
personal.
But
No, this
is-
was more
yeah.
personal. It was someone like, it was like, and this is gonna sound kind of weird, but it was like having one of his children. It was like daddy-daughter day when, you know, you take your parent to school. You take your parent to school with you, and you sit there and bully them incessantly because they're your parent.
A little bit. Yeah. Do you have any particular, I guess, aspects of Coco or her works that you feel have had an influence on you? That it could be one of her streams that maybe made something just click in you of like, oh, maybe I should try this, or oh, I want to try that, or even just sort of her personality that may have rubbed off on you over time?
I think more than anything, her personality is something that I would find integral to who I am, both as a person sitting here, you know, I'm, you know, a cute little doll. I've been around for 174 years. I know how things are, but her lessons, like she's what, 3,000 something? I don't remember. We don't talk about a woman's age.
Dragon
here.
years.
Exactly. But her overall personality, how someone could, like, I mean, bad things have happened. That's how entertainment works. Like, when things would hit her, and they would, and she was pretty transparent when things did hit her, and she just took it and threw it right back at the world. It was like, all right, hit me with your best shot.
I just,
Like,
it's not the end screen that she uses regularly, but I remember seeing one that said, if you didn't enjoy this, fuck you.
exactly. Like, her understanding of the entertainment industry as a whole, and just people's personalities, and the fact that you can't please everyone. If people don't like what she's doing, well, as she said, then fuck you. And body language. But just, she welcomed it. She welcomed the chaos. She welcomed the strangest of things, and the strangest
The challenge, I suppose.
the challenges. Yeah, like she took that challenge and just blew it right up. And I don't know if there's anyone else I can think of in Hololive other than maybe Callie, who's taken the feedback, taken the world, and dished it right back out at him. And
Yeah, for
that
sure.
alone is just, that kind of influence right there is something that makes Coco mean that much more, because she's like, yeah, whatever. Am I hurt a little bit? Am I upset a little bit? Yeah, that's, you know, that's how feelings occur. But you know what? I'm still doing it. I'm still going. I'm still trucking on along and drinking my Coco and having a good time.
Absolutely. Just Asakoko in general, that's something that I'm sure as people continue to come into the VTuber community, they're going to hear references of Asakoko and they're going to be like, where's that from? And
Oh, she's eternal.
there-
Coco's
yeah.
eternal.
Oh,
She's
there's
not
gonna
going
be
anywhere. This may be a
stories.
graduation. She's not going anywhere.
No, that's
Well,
the thing.
like,
that her,
Hi, my name's Coco, and I'm pretty much the main driving force for Hololive EN. Even though it was never officially confirmed, it pretty much was. And it's just, Exactly. Like, it was never officially confirmed, but there's no way it wasn't.
Sorry, I'm messaging a couple things. So, unfortunately, JUSAGI will not be able to join us this evening.
Okay.
For those who might have been keeping up with her, her cat is unfortunately not in fantastic health. So, our thoughts are absolutely with JUSAGI and their cat right now. So, LAIN, if it's all right with you, I'm just gonna bump your segment out by an extra 15-20 minutes, and that way I don't have to mess with the rest of the schedule.
Hey, that works fine with me as long as I don't, run anyone off. That's all that matters.
1 sec, so just letting
You're good,
JUSAGI
you're good.
know to not worry and be with their cat. Yeah.
You handle things on your end. I can entertain.
Yeah.
Well, like,
Jeez.
I've been.
Have you been watching many of her streams this past week?
Yes.
Oh,
Now,
she's
not
been
enough
in
of them to be
continuously
able
high
to.
spirits the
Yeah,
whole time.
Yeah. Like, and you can hear it every now and then in her voice. Just not necessarily the breaking, but the breaking of this is happening. This is about to happen. Like,
Yeah.
oh, but that's one hell of a woman.
But it doesn't
right
feel like
there.
there's any regret. That there's the sadness, and it's very natural
Yeah.
for anyone to feel
It's
sadness.
just like a graduation. She's an idol.
Yeah. Mhm.
Like,
And
that's one
goodness
thing that
knows-
needs to be reminded. Like, idol graduations, they're emotional. Like, oh God, I'm tearing up.
Like,
I said
honestly,
I wasn't gonna cry.
As someone who was not invested at all in idol culture, very aware of idol culture, but not,
Mhm.
Part of that community prior to VTubing, I suppose I understood in a conceptual sense the impact of a graduation, that it's sort of like a show that you've been watching for a long time having its finale, or a book series coming to an end, that it is an end. And, obviously you don't want parasocial relationships to be a thing, but that doesn't mean that it is inherently unhealthy to become, in a certain sense, attached. That you can become
there's
attached
nothing
to a
wrong
book
with-
character, to a movie
Mhm.
character, and that's totally fine. There's nothing wrong with that. And
Mhm.
yeah, it hurts when that ends, when, all right, this story is done. But at the same time, it is, as has been said, every ending is just the intro to a brand new story.
Exactly. I'm glad you said it, because I was gonna quote it too in just a second. Oh, I'm actually crying. I told myself I wasn't going to, but just the emotion of everything. We were talking about it before the show. I was like, I'm not gonna cry. I don't have this strong of an emotion. No, the atmosphere is just. This is a big one.
Yeah.
This is a really big one.
And goodness knows she is now setting the standard for graduations to come, because just it's been a full 4-week farewell tour. That the day that she had the announcement, which I think was June 9th, so about three and a half weeks ago,
Yeah.
the ground shook. You saw outpourings from Niji Sanji, from V Shoujo, from every corner of the VTuber community. It made some mainstream headlines. It didn't make,
It did.
print or anything, but I saw a link from Slate. I saw something from just several other mainstream outlets, and yeah, it's not necessarily going to be their
I saw it
front
blowing
page.
up on so many different. Yeah, it was blowing
But-
up on so many different platforms too.
But the fact that it got
Just
there at all,
everywhere.
it's
Yeah.
one sort of a testament to everything that has happened in the VTubing community as a whole, to say that
Mhm.
any graduation at all would warrant press in mainstream
Yeah.
media. And in some ways, it is all the more fitting that it is for her.
100%. It's bloody hell. I've thought of graduations and things before, and I've thought of how would Hololive handle it, because being so into idol culture, I see how the idols handle graduations, and that's one thing. It's a completely different thing here when you don't have this. Idol graduations are large. They're just like what we're dealing with right now, but they're usually on stage and an arena full of people.
Yeah.
But then you think about it, the graduation is limited, because when you have that arena full of people,
There's a
only
capacity.
so many people there's a capacity. Whereas Coco here touched so many people in the world. Like, that's way bigger number than any idol graduation I've ever heard of. And that alone, bloody hell, I cannot stop crying. But it just, when you think about it that way, this is so much bigger than just a graduation. Like, this is...
Yeah, and honestly, just the level of interaction that a VTuber has with their community, even one that is as indirect as somebody with as big a platform as Coco, that, you know, Coco doesn't, you know, shout out every person in her chat.
Exactly.
But
she doesn't
at
thank
the same
everyone for
time,
subscribing. She doesn't thank everyone for following. She doesn't,
but at the
I mean,
same
she
time,
has the
the
obligatory,
amount of interaction,
the Aka chats.
yeah, but at the same time, the amount of interaction that she has in the just the
research,
frequency,
the dedication.
and the frequency of the interactions. When you have an idol, it's all right. There's going to be a set number of concerts, maybe some interviews, and a music release every so often. But if you think about the actual number of times when there's just content releases, it's night and day of, you know, obviously this past month has been a bit non-representative because she has been going out in a blaze of glory, doing 2, sometimes 3 streams a day, just absolute madwoman. And even if
it's also,
was just back
you have
to
think about what she is in terms of her timing. She debuted December of 19, right before COVID hit. She was one of the biggest driving forces for a lot of things internationally because she covered everything.
Yeah.
She wasn't just, your cute anime waifu streamer who played video games and tee-hee flirt with the chat. No, she was this badass dragon babe who's like, hi, my name's Kiryu Coco, motherfuckers. Let's go. And hit the ground running. Like, she was
as
news
un-idol-like
outlet. She was
as
an
can
interview
be.
outlet. She was every epitome of one hell of a woman I could... God, watching all the outpour of love for her on every platform possible, like Twitter, the second that it happened, it blew up. I'm one of the head mods in the EN VTuber server, and we were already talking about it in our mod chat before I saw it going big on Twitter. Everyone is in on watching this. It's such a monumental timeline for everyone in terms of our content creation, and watching the outpour of art, songs, writings, posts, just monologues. I keep eyeing Twitter because there's a Twitter user, Ochadozo. I'm gonna drop his link here in the chat.
Good. Did let you have the link. I wasn't sure if the bot was gonna squash you or not, but yes.
I'm a mod anyway, if it tried. But Ochadozo actually wrote an entire original song in regards to Coco's graduation, and I'm actually one of the guest vocals involved in it. So I'm hoping he gets it posted during the duration of the show, so we can plug it again here. But it's an entire piece in both English and Japanese. Ariga, thank you for everything, because
of course, you have to have the shitty Japanese.
Oh, Ariga, thank you, gozaimasu, for everything. I think that's if I remember correctly,
another
that's the
one
very
of the
first
things
line of the song.
the introduction of shitty Japanese, the introduction of the meme review that
Japanglish.
Yeah, and just really getting the community involved in all of that, of just another thing that you can't quantify in metrics and know, all right, what is the difference in community interaction had she not, actually put the call out and said, all right, Reddit users, make me posts every single week. Of just, that has given creators just something to do, to look forward to every week, and that propagates farther. It means that more people see it. It means that there's more activity on the HoloLive Reddit. And without that, obviously, the Reddit's not going to shrivel up and die. It is very, very active now beyond
100%.
that. But goodness knows, that helped really establish the foundation.
The fact that she was also, bilingual to the extent that she was also really helped, further nurture VTuber community as a whole, because you have all these people on our side of the water going, what is this cute anime girl? Why are she hold on, what's happening? And having someone being like, yeah, I'm a VTuber, so what? Hang on, what was the quote? I'm a VTuber and you'll regret this. And
that's right, I remember that.
But I feel like that alone is just Coco at her core. I'm a VTuber and you'll regret this, motherfuckers. God, God, she's so good.
And just the fact that her recognition has really crossed boundaries. That, like I said, Shoujo and Niji Sanji made posts when her announcement came out, and I remember for myself, I had been offline, or at least off of Twitter and Reddit on the 9th for a couple hours because I was just doing something else, and I logged on. It was some 4 hours after the announcement. So not a lot of time in a literal sense, but plenty of time for that type of thing. So I remember I logged on and
I remember waiting
it hit
for
me
you
like
to DM me about it.
a brick wall of just, I had sort of a moment where you blink a few times. What? Am I actually reading this? And
I remember waiting for you to see it and to ping me, because I wasn't going to ping you until you saw it, because I didn't want to ping you and be like, hey, guess what? And then watch you break down, because I know you. But when you pinged me about it and just lost your mind, I was like, yep, Jay finally saw it. And it wasn't long after that you started putting this show together in regards to everything, too. Like, you're one of the few people who I can think of who isn't a VTuber, but is as dedicated, in a sense like Coco, to do the interviews, to do the information updates, and keep everyone just in the know.
Yeah, just honestly, this show actually didn't come to me until about a week after the announcement, and I was seeing just the outpouring of art and whatnot, and goodness knows that that deluge of content has only gotten more powerful since then.
Sir.
Like, but
the announcement was on the 9th, wasn't it?
Oh yeah, so maybe it was only 3-4 days.
It was 3 days, because you messaged me on the 12th. It was a very long 3 days. But it was only 3 days later when you pinged me.
Yeah, but I was seeing so much stuff, and I was just like, dang, I'm certainly not an artist, and I want to do more than just make a text post to try and convey it. And then it sort of hit me. I was like, wait a minute, I have a talk show. Oh. But yeah, gosh, it's kind of surreal, the whole thing, but at the same time, it's been really cool watching her these past couple weeks, soaking in the sun these last couple times. It's so abundantly clear how hard this has hit the other HoloLive talents, especially those in Generation 4. I was watching one of Watame's streams earlier, and she was making fireworks in Minecraft and stuff, and just, she was sniffling the whole time. And it's
you could hear all the girls in every collab, everything. You can hear them just trying not to lose their minds over it, because and you know those relationships off screen are going to still be just as strong. Like,
yeah, and that's one of the cool things.
You don't just make connections as your as your persona. Everyone's been together for so long now. Everyone's a family.
Yeah, and it's so honestly heartwarming to see that, to know that,
everyone's so afflicted.
That people are like that, and that the talents within HoloLive are able to establish that type of actual connection with each other. That obviously many of them have not actually met in person, given the circumstances of the past year and a half. But that they have become so close, and a few of them have become close physically, that Holo House, so it's Kanata and Suisei, if memory serves, at the very least, are going to continue living together. And that's really cool. And just that they've been able to create these friendships, these relationships that will continue to go on far past Coco's graduation. And that Coco said, I think she tweeted out earlier today, like, I'm going to be on your side, and I'm going to be annoyingly loud in my cheering.
Yeah.
It's as bittersweet as it comes.
It's really hard to find words to say. Yeah, it's really hard to find the right words to say without getting into a more businessy standpoint, because I know, Jay, you and I could go on that for way longer than we should ever be allowed to. But I think the biggest thing for me is that someone, hi, my name's Kiryu Coco. Good morning, motherfuckers. She can just touch so many people while still being as chaotic, but still just being this ray of sunshine in a really dark time for a lot of people. Like I'm looking
Yeah.
at chat here, seeing so many people talk about their love for her. Is like, you know, she got a lot of people into VTubing. I know a lot of people really got into, like, learned more about it through HoloLive and HoloMyth. But for some people, especially if you were
Up
on the
until
other
then,
side
she was the closest thing you had.
exactly. And the amount of people I've seen who said that, yes, Kiryu Coco was my inspiration to get into VTubing, not HoloLive EN, that's one of the most interesting things to me, because the boom was big in Japan and, you know, just the other side of the world. But it wasn't as big over here unless you were just, you know, you stumbled across it and ended up falling face first down that rabbit hole on YouTube, or however you found them before HoloLive EN. But when EN happened and it just blew up, everyone got face first down the rabbit hole. And having Coco as that barrier between the EN and the JP girls,
Yeah,
like,
and it was
she's like,
basically.
"Hi, you like HoloLive EN? You want to see more? Come on,
Mhm, yep,
motherfuckers,
exactly.
let's
That just
go."
as soon as you have EN, then it's all right. People are gonna look for who do outside of the 5 EN girls. I want to explore more. Let's see who else in HoloLive might be of interest. And odds are, if you're looking outside
You're
of
gonna find
EN,
Coco.
Coco is where you're going first, because she's going to be the one that is speaking the most English, and it just goes from there.
And then it just, this is such an interesting thing, because Coco is so integral to VTubing. Like, a lot of people, like I was saying, you know, people give their credits to HoloLive EN. That's what got me into it. And I'm like, okay. But on the back end, you have a lot of people who probably wouldn't even know what VTubing was if it weren't for Coco. And I know they've alluded to it, and we mentioned it earlier, that if it weren't for Coco suggesting HoloLive EN, it may never have happened. But
Yeah,
at
or
the
at least
same
not
time,
happened at the same pace.
exactly. But she is a pioneer. She is someone who really brought about VTubing into a more, not, I wouldn't say positive light, but a more like open light, where more people knew what it was, and
Yeah,
not just because, you know, you've got your Kizuna Ai who's been around for several years, but Kizuna Ai, yeah, she was a VTuber, but she was less so of a VTuber, more so of like a personality rather than anything else. And then with HoloLive,
and very idol-like, and Coco just
far
completely
more
broke the
idol.
mold.
Exactly. Like, Coco is so standalone in her own way. She's like, "Hi, yeah, you see all this idol stuff? Nah, that ain't me, fam." Like,
But then every so often can just, you know, all right, I'm
Rein
gonna
it back
don
in.
this idol outfit, and I'm gonna sing my heart out, and especially for her, just she has an unconventional voice. And at
Yeah.
first, she was very unconfident in her voice, and it was not something that she would really lean on or showcase. But over time, she herself grew in that she became more confident in her voice and started doing more and more karaoke, and just being so joyful and irreverent that her karaoke, both archived and unarchived, have become super iconic in their own regards. Of just, you know, some nights I would log into YouTube and it would be anime girl sings karaoke, and it was like, oh, okay, so Coco's doing an unarchived karaoke night. Probably
Yeah.
should tune in.
Pretty much. I'm now a little scared because it looks like Twitter's crashing.
Oh dear, that's not good.
Yeah.
Knock on wood, we're
Yeah, it
still
looks-
good over here for now.
Oh, no, I mean, I think Twitter is down, because I keep trying to see if Ocha's song has gone up so I can post it for everyone. But if Twitter's dead, well, that's not gonna
I guess. So, do you want to tell us about the piece that was done with Ocha, or do you want to let people be surprised?
I'll tell a little bit about it, because I wanna advertise it, because Ocha's an absolute darling, and I love him with every fiber of my being. Like, Ocha, sweetheart, if you're listening to this, big smoochies. But he posted about it, that he wanted to do a contribution piece for Coco, and put together this super, super sweet and heartfelt, but goofy in the kind of way that Coco is, ukulele type orchestration. And the lyrics, They're so much fun, and they're so perfectly her, and they're so perfectly his style that I genuinely can't wait till it gets posted because it's gonna be a big thing. Everyone's gonna really enjoy it.
So how
And
many people are on this?
I don't know.
It sounds like a lot.
There's a good chunk from what I'm understanding. I know a lot of he made an open call on Twitter. Anyone with a mic who's willing to record something for this, let me know, and we're gonna do it. And one of the last things that we talked about, he's like, this specific part of this track is really starting to sound like a big old like chorus of congratulations. And I'm very excited to see the final piece. Like, Ocha's a wizard with writing, and I know what Coco's graduation means to him. So as soon as I saw his post, I was like, yeah, hey, I want in.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to hearing it. I'll definitely be sharing that out on my Twitter as well later on.
Come on, Twitter. Stop being broken for 5 seconds.
Actually, while I'm at it, I'm going to make sure that you get a shout out as well.
Oh wait, I went to do the shout out like Nightbot, but you don't have Nightbot.
There's a
it works the
different
same
bot
way for
Streamlabs.
Streamlabs.
Yep, it does.
Oh, nice.
Ta-da! Had to remember that your URL is Blanc Lane, not Lane Blanc.
Yeah. Maybe at some point I'll swap it around because I'm tired of being called Blank or Blanc.
So we're going to be moving on to our next guest in a couple minutes, but before you go, first off, Lane, thank you so much for coming tonight. Thank you for being the opening act and for sticking around a little bit longer. I suppose if you could deliver a special message to Coco, if you could talk to her one-on-one in, you know, sort of a handshake event moment, what would you say to her?
Kiryu Coco, thank you. Thank you for everything. You've done more than I think you'll ever be able to understand or grasp. And that's okay, because your influence has helped a lot for a lot of people. And for that, I thank you for everything you've done for myself and our community. Thank you, darling.
Absolutely beautiful and so well said. And I'm planning on asking that question to all of the guests this evening, and I suspect that there will be a lot of very similar responses, but, you know, I want to be able to give people a chance to sort of say this, that in a sense, this is a little bit of group therapy, I suppose, and that goes for myself, too. That
I mean, I said at the start I wasn't going to
cry.
I said at the start I wasn't going to cry, and then I did.
Well, sorry not sorry for making you cry, Lane.
Hey, as long as the porcelain doesn't crack, we are A-okay.
Indeed, indeed. And if you want to follow Lane, her link is both on screen and right now in the chat. She was my first guest back in January. Goodness. Lane, would you believe this week? If you don't include... Yeah, it was in January. If you don't count my specials, this week I have my next normal show on Friday. That's going to be episode 24, I believe.
Bloody hell, really?
Yeah.
Oh, I remember when you first propositioned the show even.
Yeah, you were one of the first people that I mentioned, and I was like, if I do this, like, how crazy of an idea is this? And you're like, Jay, it's a little bit crazy, but it's crazy enough for you. And I was like, okay, that sounds...
It's crazy because I know you well enough to know that you can make crazy. How?
Hi, TATSURII.
Hello, TATSURII. Thank you for the raid, darling. Welcome into the Coco's Appreciation Show. I'm going to do a shout out for TATSURII because I can.
Thank you. Yay.
Welcome
and
welcome
TATSURII
in.
Will be joining us later on in the evening. But for now, Lane, you and I must part ways, but we'll actually be saying hello to one of TATSURII's good friends. She is also a member of Shirayuri Productions. We'll be joined by YOYO in just a moment. So, Lane, I will see you around. Thank you again. If you could hop on out so we can make way for YORO.
Will do. I hope to see all of you in the dollhouse soon. Take care, darlings. Mwah.
Alrighty, folks, if you'll just hang tight with me for a moment while I get YORO in. trying things tonight in a bit of a new system since it's going to be multiple guests and hopefully everything works. There might be a bit of squirreliness based on the image size that I have to edit, but we will see how this goes. Once again, TATSURII, thank you so much for the raid. I'm looking forward to talking with you in a little bit, and hello to all of the raiders. This is the Coco Appreciation Show. I'm your host, Jay, and we are spending the evening celebrating the legacy of Kiryu Coco. Here, alrighty, so I gotta get rid of that one, and I'll put in this one for YORO. And if you have any memories you want to share of Coco, any thoughts about just what she's done, feel free to drop it in the chat. The only rule tonight is that you cannot discuss or speculate her reasons for graduating. Everything else is fair game. And YORO, hello there.
Hi, how you doing?
I'm doing great. How are you doing? I'm hearing you loud and clear. Chat, let us know if there's anything wrong with the levels. Hopefully the BGM is a good volume as well. But YORO. Oh, and thank you for the host. So how are you doing tonight?
I'm doing pretty good. I'm ready to show praise to our Kaicho.
Indeed, indeed. Do you recall when you first actually learned of Coco?
Yes. I think, yeah, I think I talked about it when she first announced her graduation, but, so, Coco was like my introduction to VTubers in a sense. Like, or she was, well, Kizuna Ai was the first, like, VTuber I saw that was, like, 3D, right?
Well, she was everyone's first 3D VTuber, I think.
That's 100%. But I guess Kizuna Ai was my first VTuber, 'cause I saw her, like, I was watching, like, PewDiePie back then and stuff, so I caught her on there. But Coco was the first, like, live 2D one. And the first time I'd seen live 2D, because I've had experience with live 2D, like animation and stuff like that, but I had never seen it used for like VTubing and stuff like that, or I'd never really, I'd never seen it used for that type of thing. So, it was one of her Asa Coco skits is when I first learned about it. Popped up in my recommended after watching like some like Kizuna Ai type VTubers and stuff like that.
Thank you, YouTube algorithm.
Hell yeah! And I just remember thinking her voice was so unique. That's what really like stuck out to me, was like how different her voice was compared to like a lot of other a lot of other VTubers I saw who had like the standard
yeah, she's certainly not your go-to cutesy idol voice.
Yeah, but she 100% made it work, and that was, to me, that was like a charm point for her, was like her very unique voice. But it was the Asa Coco thing, and I believe it was the one with Watame. That was the one I saw. And and it was, I remember it was like the first time where I'm like, yeah, like I think I definitely.
One second. Hi, TATSURII. You're not on for a little bit. If you could pop on out. Thank you. Sorry about that.
I love Tatsu.
She's great. She's gonna be on later. Very eager.
But she's great. But I think it was like when I saw, I remember being mesmerized by Coco's model. I remember thinking it was amazing. Probably because of her gigantic assets that really I was like, whoa. But yeah, but I think that was when I started watching a little bit of Coco. That's when I was like, yeah, I want to be a VTuber. Like, this is it. And then I just jumped right into it.
Oh, wow. So you are among the people that can directly trace their I want to do this moment to Coco.
Yeah. I just remember, like, the more I watched some of her highlight videos, because I could never catch a fucking stream. I was sleeping all the time. But I watched a lot of, like, the highlight videos and the English subtitled videos, and I was like, yeah, I want to be like Coco. And I remember when I decided to, it was also around the time the Hololive auditions opened up. And I was like, nah, I don't think I'll get it. So I just said, okay, you know what, we're doing this. I know like there's an English VTuber community. I'm just gonna jump into it, and I'm gonna make a Twitter account, and I'm gonna I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it, and then I did it, and yeah, and I
And
kind
here we
of
are.
yeah, I just kind of jumped into it, but it was like, it was almost like an impulse, like I need to do it now, but it was just because the more I looked at like Coco and like, the more I just like dang, I think this is really what I want to do, because I had given thought to it before when I watched kids do that. I was like, oh, that would be fun, but I don't think I'd be able to do it. I feel like I wouldn't be able to fit that kind of idol archetype that a lot of VTubers have, which I don't. But
And
Coco was
Kiryu's
like the
just breaking the mold
yeah.
sort of showed it can be done. You don't need to be the idol type, and obviously you can be, and you know, there's nothing wrong with being an idol type VTuber, but it showed that you could be something else if that's what spoke to you.
Yeah. And you know, like you could be different than that idol kind of vibe, and you can do your own thing, and you can still be successful, and you can still have people who enjoy that. Because that was my biggest fear. I'm like, oh, am I gonna be too, you know, yabai for people? Turns out I wasn't yabai enough. But Coco was just like, damn, I don't have to be like a cute anime girl. I could just be like the biggest motherfucker in the world here and just like go ham and curse all I want and be loud and be, you know, do whatever I want and say and tell my audience I hate them on a daily basis. and they'll enjoy it. They'll love it.
Yeah, if you have not tuned in to one of Yoro's streams, she is absolutely Coco's brand of chaotic. That you've never tried to be Coco, that's for sure. That you're definitely not trying to imitate her, but you do have a very similar energy in just that, you know, you take a fuck the world, I'm gonna do what I want stance, and that is absolutely awesome, and it's very admirable. So if you're looking for more of that type of energy, definitely check out YORO for sure. Do you have any favorite memories or pieces of content that she's made?
100%. I mean, everybody loves the Asa Coco series. That was just like peak, like crackhead.
Yeah, it's kind of what, I feel like it's what put her on the map. It has to be either that or the meme reviews.
Yeah, the meme reviews were also. I think those were very good because I guess like it was like Coco was really like a bridge between like the Western world and like the you know, Japanese VTubing.
Yeah.
And so she kind of like did some like cross-cultural exchange there. Another one I like was her Yakuza thingies, or Yakuza playthrough, where whenever she saw Kiryu, she just like fucking like cream her pants, and I'd be like, I respect that. She would fangirl so hard whenever she saw Kiryu, and I'm like, I respect that energy, Coco. I respect that.
Did you see that the Japanese voice actor for Kiryu Kazuma actually tweeted at her?
Bro.
It must have been 3 to 5 days-ish after the announcement of her graduation that tweet from Kazuma was made toward her, and she definitely retweeted, so it was super cool to see that come full circle there.
Yeah, because I also I loved her 3D lives with the Secret Agent Dragon. That one. I love her 3D streams as well, and also just her like interacting with the other you know, the iconic Marine. I'm Hani.
Yeah, that's something that people forget, that Marine's catchphrase is a direct result of Coco's, I don't know if interference is the correct word, maybe influence, instigation. Bottom line is Coco was there, and Coco directly contributed to that moment where Marine first uttered her first "I'm horny," and obviously that has spiraled out of control in the best of ways.
Yeah, it's I really loved, like, I just loved her interacting with you know, interacting with her fellow Hollow Live members, and her teaching them like bad words in English.
Yeah, just corrupting
That's something
them.
I would do. That's something I would do. Like, personally, if I learn that shit, I'm gonna teach you all of like the horrible words. But I loved her 3D lives as well. Those were just amazing to see her in like 3D and stuff like that. Very, very fun. I did also like how I really did respect her for you know, because obviously she loves like Yakuza a lot. Her favorite character is, you know, Kiryu, and I believe correct me if I'm wrong. I'm like 90% certain that she named herself after Kiryu Kazuma, right? Am I
wouldn't
tripping
be
here?
surprised. I don't think it's ever been explicitly stated since, you have the immersion of they don't exactly say why everything was named the way it was, or that if they chose their own names or to what degree they had influence over their names at Hololive, but the logic stands, and it certainly seems likely, and if it wasn't, it was... You can't call it much else than fate if it wasn't deliberate.
Yeah, and if she did that, mad respect. That really just shows how much she really loves that game, and I like that. I like when people you can really tell that people love something and they express it in those ways. So I love that.
And not
I
only
like
the
that
fact
about
of just
Coco.
that she herself has adopted the persona of a Yakuza boss. That, she has the crest and everything. Goodness knows, I've seen so many pieces of fan art in the past month of, you have that classic, just the line of people in suits bowing as she walks by. Just, it has been so cool to see her embrace that and make that her own thing of just Yakuza boss dragon, profane Yakuza boss dragon, and just you can keep stacking these on and realizing how absurd the whole thing is, and sort of say, by all rights, this shouldn't exist.
Yeah, but it's just what makes her incredibly unique, and made it just like a joy to watch, and pretty much everything.
And props
also,
to Hololive for allowing it to happen, because it was one of the things I was talking about with LAIN. Have you seen the interview with Yago?
No, I have not. Wait, is that the recent one?
Yeah, the one that was released just yesterday. Very, very new.
Yeah, I saw some clips from it, yeah.
Yeah, just, holy cow, the fact that they let that happen, that shows that they're parting on as good terms as possible.
Yeah.
You don't have your CEO go on and effectively get roasted, using LAIN's words here, unless you're actually okay with the person who is leaving your company.
I think, I think that was fucking funny.
Yeah, definitely one to watch. Of, it could just become one of the most iconic pieces of Coco's content, honestly, despite being one of her last ones, that if you need to show someone how ridiculous it is, say, all right, this is when she did an interview with the CEO of her company.
And then just beat the fuck out of him on stream. That is so, I know people throw around the word iconic a lot, but I feel like it's iconic in the traditional sense of the word, where that's something that's gonna hit the history books in a sense, that's gonna go down in Hololive history.
For sure.
But yeah, I always did like the kind of, as you said, fuck the world, fuck you, I'm gonna do what I want kind of vibe of Coco. She's very strong to do some of the things she did, and very for lack of a better word, powerful. Yeah,
and very creative. She had to think of all of those warped, absurd things for Asakoko.
Yeah, it shows how really just creative she is, but also it felt like she was trying to push the envelope and be I can't think of a good word, not a rebel, a revolutionary in a sense. It's just that concept of pushing the envelope of what it means to be in Hololive, of a VTuber, an idol VTuber. I kind of it's almost like pioneering, trailblazing in a sense. It's just that kind of going against the grain, beatnik kind of vibe, if that makes sense. I can't think of a good word to describe it, but I really did like
a rogue almost.
Yeah, it's rogue, but in a good connotation, and less of the it was nice to see that, because I always respect content creators or people who like to push the envelope of what is acceptable, and open up new pathways for a lot of other VTubers, me, or the other VTubers who kind of looked up to Coco and took her as an example.
Yeah, and none of her stuff was ever at the expense of anyone else. Everything she did was just it might be raunchy, it might be crude, but it was never malicious. It was never malicious. It was always, all right, look at me, look at how absurd I can be, and let's all laugh together.
Yeah, I really just respect that that mindset she had with it, and how it really wasn't ever at the expense of anybody else. And maybe if you know she was memeing on herself a little bit.
Yeah,
but
the only person that it was ever at the expense of was Yago.
Yeah.
That it was never her fellow Hololive members. It was never, you know, well, I suppose with the exception of she had the classic end screen of, if you didn't enjoy this, fuck you, but that's a thing to haters in general. Nobody that would ever, it wasn't directed to her supporters, it wasn't directed to her friends. And honestly, if you didn't enjoy this, fuck you, I hope you don't come back, is just one more thing that is very in line with her and, as you said, powerful.
Yeah, I was about to say, like, that's powerful. And that's like the kind of, honestly, the kind of energies I aspire to, because you could tell that she was at least confident in herself enough to say that, because it does take confidence to say, like, you know what, fuck you, if you don't like me, I don't need you. It takes like a certain amount of self-love and confidence to be able to like say that to people who just like hate on you for reasons. So I respect that, and that's the kind of vibe I hope to achieve too. Just like, fuck you, I don't care what you think of me, I'm having fun, go die.
Absolutely. And my last question for you, Yoro, before we head to the next guest, if you could deliver a special message to Coco, you know, one-on-one handshake event, what would you say to her?
Oh yeah. Okay, trying to hold in the tears here, because that's just fucking sad. Like, Kiryu Coco changed my life. If you think about it, like, she really changed my life and put me on this path of being a VTuber and doing something that I absolutely love. So, I'm gonna miss Coco. I know she's gonna be there. She's gonna be there in some way, shape, or form. And I will always continue to support her. No matter what form she's in, because I love her and I respect her greatly. But I wish her nothing but the best, and I hope that she'll keep making content, doing what she loves, and rest and relax and take care of herself. But she changed my life, and I know she changed a lot of other people's lives. So I gonna miss her a lot.
We all absolutely will, and we're certainly fortunate that we know that her archives will remain up, and obviously there's countless fan-made clips that will also be preserved on YouTube for whoever might come after us and want to learn about this amazing dragon.
Always. Kaicho forever!
Kaicho forever,
Kaicho
indeed.
forever, motherfucker!
Yoro, thank you so much for joining me this evening. I'm going to need to get to my next guest, but it has been a delight to have you on again. I hope you're doing well, and thank you so much for just sharing your thoughts, your memories, and your experience with us tonight.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
My pleasure.
Alright, I'll see you later. Bye-bye, everybody. Bye-bye, motherfuckers. Bye-bye.
And that is YOYO. Our next guest is going to be SUUGA. Give me just a moment. We're going to be getting her set up. Hopefully everything works. The screen size seems to have worked well. And thank you to everyone who's been following along the way. Oh, and here she is. One moment. Let me get the nameplates all set up for you.
Okay.
Away with that one and on with that one. Here we go. Yay! SUUGA.
I'm YORO now.
SUUGA, welcome to the show. You've never actually been on one of my shows before. I am so delighted to have you, even if it is on a bit of a bittersweet occasion.
Oh, that's okay. I'm happy to talk about Kaicho. I'm happy to talk about Kaicho.
Do you actually remember the first time that you heard about Kiryu Coco?
I do, actually. So I hadn't been familiar with Hololive or a lot of VTubers, And I actually, my introduction to VTubers originally was through Korone, but I got really invested when I started to watch like horror streams of VTubers, and Coco was one of the first ones that I watched. She was playing Infliction, and I thought it was the funniest thing that I'd ever seen. And I remember really loving her design and just like how candid she was and how naturally amusing she was. It didn't feel like she had to really like try too hard to be funny. She just naturally was, and I was always excited to just see her reactions. And from there going forward, I just constantly just wanted to like keep up with her and like her work and like all that kind of stuff. So what's it called? So yeah, for me it was because I was watching her get scared, and I was like, yeah, me too, I get scared. It was just so fun. And like I loved like when she did like horror streams, she'd only have like her eyes poking out at the bottom of the screen. I was like, I'd do that too. Me too. If I was that scared, you would not see me. No way.
Yeah, she's always been obviously very expressive first and foremost, but she also has she loves using her model and moving her model around, whether it be, you know, dancing and swaying from side to side during her karaoke streams, or just hiding herself when she's scared and stuff like that. That she always goes sort of above and beyond with her own self-expression and animations and everything.
Yeah, like it's actually something like from watching her streams, it's something that like I was able to learn to do for myself. So like on my own streams, like I've learned how to dance and how to like properly emote, I guess, like if I'm singing, or like take advantage of a moment to what's it called, send like drive home like a reaction, or what's it called, like just take advantage, like learn how to use my model and like learn how to properly use it to create content, if that makes sense.
Yeah,
just by watching, you know. And like I always appreciated that, because it just always felt like super, like I said before, she's just like super candid, and like I feel like just watching her be so natural, it was very easy to like just learn from her streams and like what she brought to the table, because she's even just so expressive in her thoughts and stuff, and like expressive like and about like her opinions and like what she like where she wants to take things. And I mean, like what's it called, like she's gotten in a lot of, I guess, quote unquote trouble because of how opinionated she is, but honestly I think that's such a great example when you have a platform like that, you know.
Yeah, that she has always pushed the envelope, and you know, she's I remember reading somewhere that she broke and redefined what was once known as the Matsuri line, because prior to her debut, Matsuri was the most, you know, crude, for lack of a better term, member of Hololive, and people would sort of base the line of, all right, how far can you go based on what Matsuri did, and just, all right, if you didn't cross the Matsuri line, you knew that you were safe for sure, because Matsuri had done worse than you anyways. And then it's, okay, if Matsuri can get away with it, we can get away with it too. And then Coco comes along, blows past the Matsuri line, now it's the Coco line.
Yeah, but the thing is with like Coco, to me it's like, it is not so much like a lewd line or whatever, as much as it is like it was her expressing her opinions and feelings, and like expressing just herself and like pushing the line a little bit to get a point across or to make something happen. And I think that's so valuable, because now the English VTuber scene is slowly becoming prominent. I mean, Hololive EN exists I think because of Coco, you know?
Yeah, that a lot of people really trace it back to her of whether or not it might have been in the works already, that she, simply by virtue of being a bilingual streamer and actively reaching
Yeah.
out to the English-speaking audience, she proved that there was this dormant, untapped market, that there was legitimate interest in VTubing outside of Japan.
Exactly.
And
Exactly.
the stories go that she got in Yago's ear of, you should start Hololive US or something to that effect, because
Mhm.
she had a segment on Asakoko at one point joking about that, and whether or
Yeah.
not that was because there was already EN at the works behind the scenes, or if that maybe helped push things along, we'll never know, but it's very clear that the word bridge has been used a lot already tonight, and I expect it'll
Yes.
be continued to be used quite a bit, because it's very true that
Yeah.
she helped really create
She
that
was
connection.
a facilitator in, I think, at least in the guidance to go in that direction. And like, I mean, look at the success of Halloween, you know?
Yeah.
Even if it wasn't her speaking to Yago or whatever, I think her just being bilingual on her own.
Yeah, even if it
made
would
a
have
huge
happened
impact.
eventually, it seems very logical that everything she did probably, expedited that timeline a little bit, or made them just that
Yeah.
little bit more eager to say, all right, with Coco essentially as a pilot program almost, that this is something they want to invest in more, and they might have found it on their own eventually, but it certainly stands to reason that Coco and her beloved antics help really get eyes on that concept a lot sooner and got the ball rolling behind the scenes.
Yeah, no, like, for me, it's just like, and the thing with Coco that I really, really love is that, to me, she has normalized this idea that, not the idea, but she's introduced and started to normalize the fact that VTubers can have opinions. Yeah, we're anime characters on the internet, but like, you can really make a huge impact from your words and your actions. And like, for me, like, seeing Coco be so candid, it makes me feel like I can be candid too.
She's broadened the definition of what a VTuber is and what a VTuber can do, just fundamentally.
Yeah, because I feel like before it was like you had to be very pigeonholed into something and you had to behave a certain way.
Yeah. And it's not even to say that was illogical or wrong, because a lot of the VTubing community and industry in a business sense was modeled after the idol industry. So obviously that's where they're going to start, and it makes sense, but you need someone to come along to break those barriers and to say, we can be more. And for us, that person was Coco.
Yeah, she really pioneered that. And I think even if she may not know it, or she knows it maybe to even the smallest degree, there is an understanding, or not an understanding, but there is a new future to be had because of Coco. And I'm looking forward to seeing what that looks like.
Absolutely. Do you have any favorite pieces of content that she's done, whether it be a series like Asakoko or the Reddit meme reviews, or maybe something more specific like a moment or a stream that sort of sticks out in your mind?
So in general, I love the meme reviews, but one of my favorite moments is when she sees Kiryu from Yakuza, and she goes, my husband! It's the legend! What are you saying? I lost my mind. I think that's still one of the funniest clips ever.
Yeah, that one was great. Actually, YORO mentioned it a little while back, of just the connection with Kiryu Kazuma. Did you see that the voice actor for Kazuma actually tweeted at her?
I thought that was so sweet. I was like, man, if that was me, I would literally screenshot it, I'd print it out, put it on my wall, I'd do everything. I thought it was so good. I was like, man, that's a goal. That's
Yeah.
like actual goals right there.
Yeah, I was really happy for her when I saw it, because it was like, you know, I have to imagine that it means something of that level to her, because, like you said, when she saw him on screen, that it was such a big thing, and that type of just... Coco can be a bit of a ham, obviously, but
Yeah.
that was just such pure, unbridled joy. That wasn't just, oh, I want to make a moment. That was, I love this character. I genuinely love this character.
Yeah.
So for her to have that, you know, even indirect interaction was super nice to see, and I'm sure that it meant a lot to her.
Yeah, and I think it also like makes her more relatable, more personable, I guess.
That even the great Coco has the people that she gets a little
That she
starstruck for.
admires. Yeah, it's always fun to see the people that you admire and think the world of them, and then see them like also flip out, because you're like, okay, like they're just like me.
Yes, yeah, it is a very relatable moment.
Yeah, like I know if I was Coco, I would have like just I just would have like started screaming. Like it's so fun. But yeah, I'd probably say that, or there's actually like a clip on YouTube. What's it called? Where like it's like Korone, Coco, and Okayu, where like Korone gets mad at Coco for saying like Okayu is like horny material, and I think that's really funny too. Just because it's fun to see what's it called, how different VTubers interact with each other, and like just like what heartwarming moments can really stick out to you, I guess.
For sure,
sure. Because like Korone in one of her streams like was like, yeah, Coco is one of my dearest friends, and I wish her the best. And I'm like, and I went out of my way to like see what everyone was saying about Coco, like all the like major VTubers, and I was like, someone's really special when someone like when everybody's saying something, when everybody has like, hey, you touched me, like you touched my heart, and you made an impact on my life. And you know, I think everybody, or a lot of people rather, could probably make videos upon videos just saying thank you, you know?
Yeah, and frankly, that's part of what tonight is. I've said it, this is kind of meant to be group therapy, and for myself included, because the VTubing world shook on June 9th. And we're very fortunate that she was given this, you know, full 4-week farewell tour, that people have had a chance to internalize it, to digest it, and make peace with it. That obviously during that stream, in goodness, some 10 hours from now or so, there's going to be a lot of tears, and there's going to be a lot of very raw emotions. But the fact that we've sort of had this time to internalize it and be like, okay, this is happening. It's been certainly nice as a fan, because this has not happened in all of the previous circumstances. This doesn't happen with every VTuber. This hasn't happened with every HoloLive member. That there have been, unfortunately, a couple talents that were here and gone very quickly. The Chinese branch did not get to have a proper graduation because of the circumstances, and they were basically, all right, you have a day, you have your farewell stream, and they are gone, and their channels were wiped. This was, we are giving Coco pomp and circumstance. We are giving her a full-on farewell tour. There's tributes, songs. We're making sure that she's doing streams. She's probably going to be sleeping for 2 days straight after this, because she's done like 2 to 3 streams a day, like, non-stop. She is going out in a blaze of glory.
When she released Fonsa, for me, I like cried,
because I remember I was at your debut, SUUGA. You used that song in your debut.
Yeah, and the thing is, like, knowing what those words mean to me, I'm gonna cry. I told myself I wasn't gonna cry. Oh my gosh. Like, Fonsa for me was, because like the words are like, look at me more, love me more. And the fact that she's saying that, like, it, as a debut song, it was great because it was speaking like welcome me. I promise I will do my best and I will continue to sing my heart out for you. Whereas this is like, she's saying that even after I'm gone, please continue to love me. I promise we'll be, because like in the song, she, you know, you promise like we'll be together again soon and like all this stuff. And as a goodbye, she's saying like, continue to love me, continue to support me. I will still be around, even if you don't know it. So
Yeah.
I promise that I'll be right here. And like, I had watched a video where she was talking about one of the huge kickers for her was that she was starting to go down like an unhappy spiral with her content. And I think like because she decided to graduate, whether or not that's the only reason or if that's part of the reason, I think it's also like,
It's nice that she's going out on her own terms.
yeah.
So regardless of what the reasons are behind the graduation, the fact that she got to choose and to say, this
Yeah.
is where I stop.
Like what I like the thing that I think that's really great about it, I think it shows that you are allowed to stop and not burn out, because I know that
Yeah.
VTubers have a tendency to burn out and push themselves very hard, and that's not a bad thing to push yourself hard and work hard.
Yeah, and
But-
it takes so much maturity just
Mhm.
emotionally and knowing yourself to say,
I need to
this
be
is the
done.
time. And that
Mhm.
I need a change for whatever the reasons, to know that you need to make
Exactly.
a change and to be proactive and say, I'm going to make this change.
Yeah, and that's why, I mean, like, yeah, it sucks that she's graduating, but I think this is another one of those things where it's just, it sets a wonderful example to everybody to pay attention to yourself. And if you start to feel unhappy, you have the opportunity and the choice that you can say, I need to take care of myself. And it's okay to take care of yourself. And I think that's really important too.
For sure.
Mm-hmm.
So we're gonna have to get going to the next guest in a couple minutes, but
Yes,
before you
yes.
go, SUUGA, if you
Mhm.
could deliver a special message to Coco one-on-one, what would you say to her?
Kaicho, I have so much respect for you. Thank you so much for the gifts and the memories. Thank you for providing me streams to learn from to create my own content as a VTuber. Thank you for facilitating a conversation and about English VTubers, for allowing VTubers in general to feel like they can have an opinion and have a place to speak their heart and their mind. And thank you for being so genuine. It allows all of us to be genuine in our own content. And I hope that wherever you go, wherever you are, that even if you are unhappy with your content now, that if you choose to continue, that I hope that you feel happy and that you always take care of yourself and drink water.
Drink water, hydrate, redeem.
Yeah. Yeah.
That was just beautiful, SUUGA. Thank you so much for joining us this evening. Thank you for sharing your memories, your thoughts. It's been great.
Thank you for having me.
Oh, my pleasure for sure. So if you want to follow SUUGA, I have just given her a shout out in the chat. Be sure to follow her as well. She is fantastic.
Thank you.
And I hope to be able to talk with you more in, less bittersweet circumstances at some point.
Mhm. Thank you for having me. I appreciate you, Jay. Good
No
night.
problem at all. See you later, SUUGA. And there she goes, SUUGA-chan. Next up is going to be someone who actually popped in a little bit early. It's going to be TATSURII, so let me just go on and get these chyrons switched up while TATSURII gets herself situated. I hear you. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
The system works. Huzzah!
I'm so sorry. I popped in sore.
Oh, it's fine. It's fine. Don't worry about it.
I
It happens.
oh my every time I was on like Ninja and stuff, like used it in the past, I would always like glitch out and everything, and I'm like, I need to test it out beforehand, and I was like, wait, fuck, I'm on stream. Oh, YORO! And I was like, panic.
There's no problem there. You're coming in loud and clear now. I love the background, and it seems appropriate anyways that you would crash somebody that you are friends and in the same agency with anyways.
At least it wasn't so outfit. Oh, I would have done like a public apology. I would have. Oh my god. But how are you?
I'm doing all right. How are you, Tatsuri? All things considered.
I'm good. I had like a long stream earlier. I just I refreshed with food now, so I'm ready to go. Yeah.
Fantastic. Do you remember the first time that you heard about Coco or the first piece of her content that you saw?
Yeah. Oh my god. So if you can't tell by the background and my eye patch, I love Yakuza with all my heart. Oh my god. So the first time I I saw Kiryu Coco was actually a Yakuza clip. Yakuza Like a Dragon back in like 2020. It's the whole fight scene, and then everyone's fighting. And then this guy comes up with a knife. He's like, I'm gonna kill you! And then this punch comes in. And we're all like, what? And then it's Kiryu, and she starts screaming. And then Majima, oh, I love Majima, just so you know, if you can't tell by the eye patch, I love Majima. Anyway, when it all went down, I was just like, holy crap, what is happening here? Because I did not know about, like, Yakuza or anything until, like, the stream. That I slightly had like a little like knowledge about it until I started streaming it, but the freaking Legend of Legend! How do you not know about it? Freaking, you gotta play all the Yakuza series, you freaking badass! It's such a good clip. And then he takes off his shirt, and then she's like, oh, all of a sudden I'm naked too, and I'm like, wait, what's happening? And then with that's actually how I got into VTubers, actually. It was that clip. That's what started the downward spiral into VTubing.
that was going to be one of the next questions of where in your VTuber experience as a whole does that fit in? So that was one of the first, if not the first, introductions you had to VTubers just entirely.
Yeah. Because I think it was the Baka Mitai trend that was going around with the face morph thing, and I was like, this song actually sounds good. What is it? And then that went to Yakuza, and then that recommended me Coco's clip.
Thank you, algorithm.
Honestly. And now I can't stop seeing Baka Mitai after every Yakuza stream.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. I know Baka Mitai has suddenly gotten very, very sad for a lot of people.
Oh, yeah. Oh, Alexa, play Baka Mitai. It's not Despacito anymore. No, it's Baka Mitai. Oh, man. Oh.
Do you have any favorite memories of Coco or pieces of content that she's made? It could be, you know, just her Yakuza playthroughs as a whole, or perhaps a particular moment or particular stream.
It's whenever she uploads those little shorts of her dancing.
Oh yes, just
I love those. I'll just like be vibing to them at the same time. I'll just be like wiggling and just be like, oh my god, it's such a vibe. And then I'd be like, no, play it again, and I'd play for like 10 minutes.
Yeah, I love those 3D uploads, whether it's her or just Kanata. A lot of them have really, I think, sort of taken the cue from Coco. Oh my goodness. Phoebe! Welcome, Raiders. Welcome, Phoebe. Thank you so much for the raid. Welcome.
Yo. Yo. Phoebe-chan.
Welcome. This is Vtuber Talk's Coco Appreciation Special. I'm your host, Jay. I currently have Tatsuri, who is also actually from Phoebe's group, Yugiri Productions.
Yeah.
I've never actually seen that animation before. That's so cool.
Yeah, my dab animation. Yes, very rare. Yes, it's great. I love it. So good.
And thank you for the shout out, Lane. I was in the middle of typing that myself, and you got it for me. Really appreciate it. Yes, where were we before all the bees started buzzing in?
The bees.
the 3D clips. Yeah, that
Yeah.
that I don't know if Coco was the first, but she certainly helped, popularize that wave of the girls doing just silly little shorts with their 3D models. And it would usually just have, a 1 or 2 word title. It doesn't always have to do with whatever the heck they're doing. And it's just silly, it's fun, and you loop it for about 5 minutes because you can tell they're just having a blast. They're just vibing, and it's always fun to watch others having fun.
Yeah. Oh, especially the Kanata Coco clips. Oh, my heart.
Yeah.
Oh.
The relationship, now that you bring it up, between Kanata and Coco is such a cool one, such a pure one, that obviously they are gen mates, so they sort of share that bond in that they began this journey in Hololive together, but then later actually moving in together, and they've become mainstays on each other's streams. That it's so obvious that it's not an act, that they are truly just, I don't know if I'd say best friends because I don't want to speak for them, but they are truly good friends. And it's so obvious, and it's always fun to see them interact. Actually, unfortunately, I think they're actually doing a stream right now. It hadn't been scheduled before, otherwise I would have changed the time of my own broadcast.
Yeah, multitasking,
Indeed. But and goodness knows, Kanata through all this has been so strong and so
honestly.
supportive, and I expected her reaction out of all of them to be possibly the most fragile, but then again, she was probably one of the first to know. She probably, my guess, I can just imagine the two of them sort of staying up as roommates and just sort of talking things through, so she's probably had more time to internalize these things more than anyone other than Coco herself.
I remember there was the one time where Coco was crying on stream after all this stuff happened, and then she came in to like comfort her, and I started bawling.
Oh yes.
I was like, oh my god, I'm crying right now. Just
I'm on a roll. I think I've made just about every one of my guests cry tonight. That wasn't, an explicit goal, but I'll take it.
There you go. You got the tears. There you go.
There we go. They're tears of love. They're tears of love.
Yeah, tears of love, bro. Their relationship. I really hope in the maybe like something. Oh, you know what I hope for? I hope that when Coco didn't get her 1 mil like thing, like what's it called, the plaque?
Yeah, the plaque.
She didn't get it right? Yeah.
I'm not sure.
Because if she did, I hope she puts like a photo of like Hololive in the center, because people have been like decorating it and stuff like that. I hope she puts like a photo. Damn.
Did you see Hisaki Not?
Yes. Oh my god. I heard it first before I watched it, and then I was looking at the lyrics, like the translation at the same time. Freaking the beginning. When they tried to fit their names into like the first 2 verses, I was like,
it's impressive to get a name pun in 1 language. To get it in 2 that's just so impressive.
Yeah. Dude, the video got me though.
Oh yeah, just cherry blossoms everywhere, because cherry blossoms are in Japan very symbolic of high school graduations, because it's that time of year, and just I can only imagine what it was like to record that. And Kanata, obviously she had to have started work on that before the announcement happened, but it's still, that has to be just such a quick turnaround. And the fact that she wrote those lyrics, that it's a beautiful, beautiful piece. If you have not had a chance to listen to it, look it up on YouTube after the show, Kiseki Not, and the description, the video description, the subtitle is just listen to our final miracle. And I got choked up when I read that. I got real choked up when I read that.
Yeah, and she did the subtitles herself. I was like, wait, what?
Wait, she did the subtitles too? I didn't know that.
I heard she did the subtitles, and I was like, wait, she did?
Kanata is so pure. And that's part of the funny dynamic of just this sweet, soft-spoken little angel, and then the boisterous, crude, ridiculous dragon.
I mean, gorilla and dragon.
Yes, I'm so sorry. My bad. Gorilla and dragon. Thank you for the correction.
Gorilla and dragon. Yeah. I'm probably gonna rewatch their thing. Yeah, it ended, so we're good. Oh, they're cooking! Stop!
Ah!
Okay, so watch party? Watch party.
Maybe, probably. Do you feel that Coco or any of her work has actually had a influence on you or your work? So whether it be something that she did that made you think, oh, maybe I should try that on my streams, or something about her personality that you feel has rubbed off on you?
Oh, 100%. So it first started off with the dancing. I like to fling myself across the screen a lot. Because I watch her dancing streams, and she'd always be like this, and I started doing it too. Yeah! Just randomly out of the blue. Or like, I just yeet myself off the screen or something like that.
I swear, like, anytime a VTuber does that, it gets to me. It's so fun. Like, I live for that type of visual gag.
Yeah, so good. Oh, I love it so much, man. Like every time she does something like she hides down here, or
Peeking down. Yep.
What? I literally take my chaos from Coco. That's what the chaos stands for me.
Yeah.
Chaos
I don't
for
think she was the
Coco.
first to introduce physical comedy as a VTuber, but she absolutely embraced it and made it part of her repertoire as just a showman and a comedian.
Yeah. Also, I apologize for my dog.
Oh, no worries.
It
It is not going to be the first pet that is guest starred on VTuber Talk, and it won't be the last.
Ah, awesome. He says hi.
Hello.
What else? Oh, so I actually tried to censor myself a lot when I first started VTubing, because the whole pure and like,
So.
yeah, all
Fuck
of that. Honestly, I just want to scream into the void and just go, fuck, you know? It's just, she embraced, like, she kind of inspired me to like embrace like who I actually am and not to like censor myself, you know? Because
Yeah.
like if you're kind of like hiding yourself, you're not staying true to yourself. It's kind of hard to kind of keep up with that. I think nowadays people like watching you for you instead of hiding behind a mask or a model.
For sure.
Yeah.
She has absolutely allowed herself to be herself, despite the fact that she has the avatar.
I really appreciate that. Oh, she's so kakui. Damn.
Oh,
Now I'm
goodness.
singing Baka Mitai. I'm so sorry.
It's all good. He just wants to be part of the show.
Yeah.
Do you feel that there is a go-to piece of introductory content for Coco that if you're trying to get one of your friends into her, what is it that you show them?
Oh, Yakuza, 100%.
Just use the Yakuza, all reliable.
Oh, the freaking... Okay, so the one stream where everyone was in Animal Crossing, and I think they're doing like a fishing event, so they're all in like teams and stuff, and then Coco comes in as like the random like team D, just like, I'm joining the competition, yeah. And then Mio senpai was like, so yeah, she's gonna be fishing on a different island, and it cuts to her, and it's her in Yakuza 4 with a rifle, and she's like, yeah, okay, so I'm gonna fish
Seen
with
this one. Can you send me this after the show?
Oh yeah, for sure. And she's literally fishing in Yakuza while everyone else is in like peaceful old Animal Crossing. She freaking fishes a zombie.
How have I not seen this one? This sounds so good.
So good. I was like, yo, she's winning, but she lost. But she won in my heart. It was so funny. She's like, yeah, this is gonna get me win the Animal Crossing game. It's freaking in Yakuza. Oh, it's so funny. Here, I'll copy and paste it. I got it ready for you.
Yes, thank you. I will
It's
be
so
watching this
good.
after the stream, post-show viewing for sure.
And there you go.
Thank you. This is important note passing here.
Yes, you can tell by the thumbnail. It's great.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, it's so good.
Sorry, handling one thing on the back end right now. Gosh, we really could go on about Coco forever and ever and ever. That there's so much that she's done. There's so many crazy things. I suppose, do you have any favorite songs that she's done for karaoke? And whether Hackers is not a valid answer. Oh gosh.
And touch the sky.
Yes.
And fly like a motherfucker bird.
You can tell she's always having a ball during her karaoke shows. Of just,
I love them so much. I was watching the final one. I was crying and dancing at the same time because she put on Party Rock and I was like, fuck
yeah. Oh, you were watching earlier today as well.
yeah.
I may or may not have been multitasking at work.
See, that's good. That's a good thing. It's valid. It's valid. You're still working though.
I was still working. It was just on in the background, but it was just like I wanted to be able to be there for that, and she put on a show that just. I've said it several times, and I'm sure I'll say it several more. She has gone out in a blaze of glory. She has gone out on her terms of just. She's done so many streams this past month.
Yeah.
She's making sure she leaves no stone unturned. She's making sure that she doesn't have any regrets after the fact, and it's so cool to see. And she's taken it in such stride that you can tell that it's her decision. She's at peace with it, and she's riding this final wave. And I think that after tomorrow, she's probably going to sleep for 2 days before thinking about anything else.
She honestly deserves the rest.
Absolutely.
She's put so much. Oh my god. And I love all like the little celebrations everyone's having. Like I've watched people's art streams, like Hololive members' art streams where they're drawing stuff for Coco. I watched the Minecraft, the Usada Summer Festival.
Oh my gosh, that was just for subtitlers and clippers. There is like a year's worth of content in that of just from all the different perspectives, all the different conversations, and that stream went for, what was it, like 4-ish hours? There were so many little stories, and the fact that it wasn't produced. It was literally just, this is a festival, we're gonna drop you all in and do your own thing. Some people broke into little groups, some people, gravitated towards the target game. If you haven't had a chance to see the JUSAGI-CHAN festival, I cannot recommend it enough. And like I said, you're gonna have to watch a lot because everyone there was streaming at the same time. It wasn't, all right, one person's hosting. It was, we're all here, we're doing stuff. There were some introductions that there's clips of. It's the first time that Gura has ever actually been in voice chat with Miko or other people.
That was so
and
cute.
It's just like, oh gosh, even after 6-7 months at this point, that there's still introductions and those sorts of meetings. And despite the fact that, well, you probably couldn't do this in person anyways because circumstances considered, but also the fact that other side of the world, that they're able to actually bring people together. And that's one of the super cool things of the internet and of how Minecraft is. Gosh, and also just the amount of preparation that had to go into that is just insane. But it was so cool. Oh yeah.
Oh, and then when the thank you with the little dragon emoji popped up. Oh my god! There go the tears again. Oh, that was so cute. I love how everyone's like, oh, look at the back. Oh, that's so cool. And then Kadato's reaction. Oh, it was so cute. I can't.
So we are nearing the end of our time. But before we go, Tatsuri, if you could deliver a special message to Coco one-on-one, what would you say to her?
Okay, this is gonna be my best Majima impression. I can't do low voice, but I'll do my best. Yo. Kiryu Kaicho. That was my sister, I'm so sorry.
All good, all good.
Thank you so much for sparking the love of Yakuza in me. Oh my god, they're upstairs. I've always wanted to be the Majima to your Kiryu, and although that may not happen, I will carry on the Yakuza-ness, and the hopefully I can someday dedicate something in your honor, because honestly, you've done so much. Not just for me, for so many people. We will forever 07 you, Kaicho. Thank you so much for everything. 大好きだよ, Kaicho. ダメだね. ダメよ. ダメなのよ. And I just start going on a tangent. I'll just dedicate Bakumitai. Yeah. See, I would do the whole song, but I don't want to. I don't want to take over.
I fully believe you. But that was just absolutely wonderful. So well said. It has been so much fun having you on. That 20 minutes flew by. Goodness.
Oh,
But,
honestly, thank you so much for having me. I hope you enjoy the clip.
Yes, I will let you know once I've watched that. So thank you for sending that to me.
Yes.
And hopefully we'll have the chance to talk again under less bittersweet circumstances.
I hope so too. Thank you so much.
All right, you have a fantastic evening, Tatsuri. And
No, you.
oh,
No,
thank
you.
Alrighty, talk to you later. Tatsuri has been shout out in chat. Be sure to give her a follow as well. And I have some cool news. We are actually going to be doing a slight shift in the lineup, and we are joined by none other than the CEO of the newly rebranded Isekai Incorporated. Please welcome JUSAGI. Whoop. JUSAGI, I'm not hearing you. Make sure that your microphone is enabled there. Oop, let me get that. That shouldn't be there. I have too many things up on this. That should go away. There we go. JUSAGI, are you there?
Hello.
Ah, now I can hear you. There we are.
Okay, I never actually used the audio settings on OBS Ninja, so hello. Sorry, I am so late.
No, it's totally fine, and we're happy to have you here. Wasn't expecting it. Hopefully things are going well with your cat, or at least as well as they can be.
Yeah. Things are great. How's the show been so far?
It's been good. It's been really good. Originally, you were actually set to be the opening act, but I'm so glad that you were able to make it. Better late than never. Absolutely. So, you come to all this from a bit of a different angle or perspective, I suppose, than most. Oh, we see your menu up right now. Not sure if that's intentional.
Yeah,
just doing a bit of resizing. Okay, cool.
A little bit smaller. So
Yeah.
There we go. All right.
You come to this with a slightly different perspective. You've told me that you didn't watch a ton of Coco stuff, but you're a business person. And obviously, from a business perspective and from a market development perspective, Coco is quite possibly the most influential individual VTuber that there has ever been. Outside of Kizune, quite possibly, for simply, creating the genre.
Yeah, like I find it very hard to watch Japanese VTubers. Like I try to watch clips of people I really like. Like I watch some Coco clips, I watch some Korone clips, Picora and so on when I can. But for Coco, it is more of like her legacy of what she's done for HoloLive and VTubers as a whole. It's so incredible. Like reading up on way back, reading up on the kind of work she's done in bridging the gap between Western and Japanese VTubers. It's so inspiring, right? And it really shows someone who really cares about VTubing as a whole. And she definitely has that marketing business mind where she can just kind of think outside the box and not just think, okay, how do I appeal to a Japanese audience? How do I appeal to the lowest common denominator, which is a lot of people do. Like even here, even for us, indie VTubers, a lot of times just how can I get more numbers? It's not like thinking, how do I expand into a brand new audience?
And it's not even to say that trying to get lowest common denominator is necessarily wrong. That's
absolutely.
how a lot of people find success. And lowest common denominator means that you're just appealing to the largest number of people, and that means that you're doing something that people like. But like you said, to sort of go against that flow and say, all right, I don't necessarily care if everyone likes what I'm doing, that's okay. And yet somehow she's won over just as many hearts as the mainstream, sort of stereotypical lowest common denominator tactics, nonetheless, just as through a combination of her genuineness and the fact that she sort of helped discover lowest common denominator factors that had either been undetected or possibly just ignored.
That is an excellent point. I completely agree, because there's a lot of things I can say about this, but for me, one of the reasons why I like certain VTubers more than others, especially corporate VTubers, large corporate VTubers, is how authentic they are, right? It's are you a real person underneath that? Are you someone that's interesting? Are you someone I kind of vibe with? And if you're someone who kind of approaches VTubing as, okay, well, the research says that moe cat girls are in, they have to be meek, they have to have a high-pitched voice, they have to be say-so, and maybe the market research says that, and if you just try to fit yourself into this mold that everyone else is doing, it's hard to stand out. Coco very clearly wanted to be her own thing and wanted to be something that no one else was doing, and I think she did a phenomenal job, and I think that's why she's so beloved, like worldwide, why she's one of the most popular VTubers, because she literally just she kind of operates by instinct, but it's such a transparent.
But it's a personal instinct. It's not just
exactly,
oh, do what I first think of it because I can't think of anything. It's I am someone who embraces being impulsive. I enjoy spontaneity, and that is her personality, to be spontaneous.
Absolutely, she is such a genuine person, and you can see that from watching even a couple of clips. You can see that.
And yet at the same time, she is also one of the most thoughtful and just well-laid, planned types of people, of just all the organization that she did to put together Asakoko every week, to do the meme reviews. That she is spontaneous in personality, but she's also really one of the most organized people I've seen from VTubing, that she has all of these different projects that she has to put extra effort into outside of streaming to make sure that they're ready. And she's not just a showman, but a showrunner.
That's kind of this magical combination that's I would say like 1 in a million, right? Like, because she had a full-time job when she was doing Asakoko, and as well as VTubing, as well as her actual job. Like I can't imagine, like I'm doing 2 of those things, 2 out of 3 of those things, and I can barely keep up. Like from a full-time job, it is exhausting. But being able to produce these kinds of shows with such high quality, as completely optional, right? Just her own little thing, and do it in such a way that promotes her fellow generation. I think she's 1 in a million, because you're right. Because she knows what she's doing, because she's methodical, because she has a plan, and yet she can still come across as authentic, because she is.
Yeah.
Because she is.
Do you remember how you first heard of her? Whether that be the first time that you heard the name and then looked into who is this Kiryu Coco, or perhaps the first piece of her content that you saw on your timeline that you clicked on?
Ooh, it would have to be the Reddit meme review, and I had no idea who this person was.
Do you remember who the guest was at that point? Because that could help sort of date this.
See, the thing is, it was an old clip, so it wasn't like watching it fresh.
Gotcha.
I cannot remember who the first person was.
But it was one of the meme reviews that first caught your attention.
Yes. And the one that my favorite meme review after that really solidified it was when she brought on Yago.
Yes, quote unquote.
Quote unquote, because we saw the like the trailer picture, and we were like, no way.
Have you seen the interview?
I've seen clips of it, and like the actual one, right? Like
the fact that it actually happened.
The fact that it actually happened, it's on my list to watch, honestly. I've seen some clips of it.
It's incredible.
And I tried very hard not to cry, because it does show that the company understands that Coco is someone really special.
Yeah.
Right? And just seeing that played out was really cathartic to me.
Yeah,
I guess,
for sure.
like,
and I think it was for a lot of others, because while I've said we're not going to speculate on reasons for graduating, it's that type of thing shows very clearly that whatever the reasons, and it doesn't matter what they are, that this was Coco's choice, and that Hololive, that cover, is supportive of her, and that they are parting on good terms, because to do that type of interview on any given day would need total confidence in the talent.
Yeah.
To do that on the eve of the graduation is nigh unthinkable, and to do that type of interview on any given day is nigh unthinkable. That CEOs don't do that type of interviews, and goodness knows historically Japanese CEOs in particular do not do that type of interview. That was not necessary. That Yago and management did not need to agree to that, but they did.
Mhm. I was honestly shocked that they did, because like you can't imagine that something like that happening anywhere else. And I think it was, I think you're right. I think this really did show that relationship between Coco and management. It showed that for us watching, it wasn't just a very callous, okay, like you are a number on a spreadsheet and you are no longer worth it, and we are cutting you off.
No
Right?
one can call this a conspiracy after seeing that.
Exactly. And I think even just seeing a couple of clips of it, it's like, okay, I feel better about this whole situation, because I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm sure you've heard a lot about it on the show, but it's like I was pretty torn up. Even like I said, I wouldn't call myself the biggest Coco fan.
Yeah.
But it's like someone who is such a foundational piece of VTubing as a whole, I never would have expected this to happen.
Yeah.
I was actually streaming at the time when someone ran into my chat and just said,
Broke
"Yo."
the news, sort of town
Yeah.
crier, herald style of.
Yeah, and it's just like what?
Yeah,
That
I
can't-
remember
that can't
I
be
was
right.
offline for most of that night. I didn't log in until about 4 hours after the announcement, and by then it was everywhere, and I just blinked a couple times to sort of make sure that I wasn't misreading something, and, you know, what? And, poof, I've said it before, on June 9th, the VTuber world shook.
Oh yeah. I swore on Twitter, my first and last, just for Coco.
Mm-hmm.
Right, break that say so barrier a little bit.
Absolutely. You didn't see it, but I did open the show with "Good evening, motherfuckers," and you can
You did.
believe.
I was.
Oh, absolutely.
I was super going to do
You'll
that.
have to watch the VOD. I'm very proud of the starting soon screen. I took my usual starting soon, and I pulled together as many of the Asakoko opening screen gifs as I could find, then added in a couple more for good measure. And right now, you can't hear it from your perspective, but we have the Asakoko news theme running. That's the show's background tonight.
Nice.
And the opening and closing themes are what she has for her streams. I'll make sure that the appropriate credits get into the YouTube version when this is inevitably uploaded. But this is my own Asakoko. This is my tribute, because I'm no artist. I'm not good at, creating music or something in terms of a normal tribute. So thank you for being part of my tribute for sure, because, the guests make the show on any given normal night, but tonight is very special. And I know, obviously, you did not have to be here tonight. I told you on Discord, take it easy tonight, friend. And so, having you here is really, really great. And I feel like for everyone, this is sort of just a bit of a group therapy, a bit of just sort of a come together, and it's okay to be sad, and really saluting Coco and everything that she's done. Do you have a go-to clip for when you want to show someone else VTubing, or if you're somewhere down the line trying to tell someone about Coco? Because I feel like Coco can't be described. You need to see her. Do you have a go-to clip that you're going to say, all right, I need to introduce you to this person, to this titan? Watch this.
See, I don't know if I do have a favorite clip in mind, but I don't know if that's what the one I would use to show people. It would to introduce you to someone new.
Well, I
to
suppose
Coco.
switching it up then, what is that one favorite clip, even if it's not the one that you use for introduction?
There is one clip where Coco was having trouble sleeping, so she downed a lot of sleeping pills and then tried to stream 7 Days to Die, and then she had a hell of a stream, and then she went back and streamed herself reacting to it, because her memory is completely gone.
Oh yeah,
She is
I've heard of that one. I have
tripping
not seen it
balls.
myself, but I remember seeing that and was like, that's so meta.
Funny. It's so funny, this kind of stuff she says, and then the sober Coco is just like, why did I say that? what am I talking about? Because Coco is just losing it, and I remember watching that the first time, and I was cackling. It was so funny. So highly recommend that anyone who's looking for a good feel good Coco clip, just Coco High playing Seven Days to Die is phenomenal. One of my favorite VTuber clips. Period. I'm normally not a fan of VTubers react to funny videos. I'm not a fan of that genre. But when it's
There's
when
something
you're
about
doing it to yourself,
VTubers reacting to themselves of just it's become a thing that some are now reacting to their own debuts and being like, oh god, I was so nervous or so cringy that I enjoy that because it's something that only they can react to in that way.
Exactly. Yeah. And then the fact that it's the source material is objectively just insane, but yet so fitting for Coco. Just so fitting.
For sure.
And I think she just left her stream on for 7 hours as she passed out on the chair, which is also fantastic. So yeah, that is absolutely my go-to Coco clip.
Do you feel that she or any of her work has had an influence on you or your work, whether it be her trying something and you saying, ooh, I might want to try that as well, or perhaps just something about her personality that helped either your own confidence or made you say, okay, seeing her do this makes me more comfortable to do this on my stream?
I think a lot of it is not necessarily personality, because my personality on stream, or JUSAGI's personality, is very different from Coco, because I am an incredibly risk-averse person. I don't like taking risks if I can avoid it, because I like things to be safe and stable. But seeing Coco and everything that she represents, I do draw on that as a motivation when it's like, we have to give almost like a little bit of a shot of courage, a little shot of courage, a little shot of Asakoko, basically. Like literally that's what's happening, because it's like, well, look at Coco, right? Look at Coco, and one of the things I've always said is, like, stream as if Coco's watching. Like would Coco be entertained by what you're putting out? And that's I have used that as an internal benchmark, and I've told that to other people too. It's like, if Coco's watching you, would she be entertained?
For sure.
Why not? Why not? Why? Coco's a funny person. I trust Coco's judgment. Maybe that's a mistake, but I want my content to be entertaining. So.
Yeah. If you could deliver a special message to Coco, just one-on-one, privately, what would you say to her?
It's kind of trite, I guess, because I'm sure everyone said the same thing, but it's just thank you for everything you've done. I don't want to put any frills on it, but it can't be understated how much of an impact she had on HoloLive EN, and as a knock-on effect, the entire VTuber community. Would it be as big here without Coco? Would HoloLive EN be a thing? Would they have had as much support from everywhere if Coco hadn't spent all that time building that foundation? Now, like, aside from things like family and so on, VTubing is such an important thing to me. It's a passion of mine to VTube, to be a VTuber, and same for a lot of people. And thinking that the root cause of this can be tied back to Coco, to this one person, and how charming and how spontaneous they were, and all the work they put in. It's kind of overwhelming thinking about that. Like she really paved the way.
For sure. Well, thank you so much for stopping by. We're just about out of time, but this has been fantastic. Thank you for sharing your thoughts, your memories. We wish the best for you and for your cat as well. So hopefully things turn out as best as possible. You go get some rest, friend.
All right. Thank you very much. It was a pleasure.
Absolutely. See you around, Jusagi.
Bye now.
And that was JUSAGI-CHAN, the CEO of Isekai Inc. Up next, we're going to have TANE TENSHI. So give us just a minute to shuffle things around. Got that. Gonna reposition that. And Give us just a moment. The VTuber Talk Coco Appreciation Special. I'm Jay, your host. We have had, goodness, gone through 5 now. Wonderful, wonderful guests sharing their memories and their impressions of Coco. For all of you in the chat, thank you for tuning in. You are more than welcome to share your own thoughts, your own memories. The only rule tonight is that you may not speculate or discuss Coco's reasons for graduating. Apart from that, please feel free to give your own impressions, your own memories. This is a group thing. Oh, hello there, TANE.
Hello, how's it going? Can you hear me?
Going good, I can hear you. I had to change the size of one of the windows, so your logo is getting cut off just a little bit.
you know
Let me
what?
see if I can.
I can just take it off.
Okay, that works too. We have your name in 3 places actually on the screen. We have the Chiron right at the bottom, plus your links there. So people will definitely know who you are and will be giving you a shout out as well. So first off, thank you so much for joining me tonight.
Oh, thank you so much. I just wanted to say, I think it's on your end. It's kind of cutting out a little bit, but I can still catch some bits.
Uh-oh. Are things coming through clearly now?
It's better now, yes.
Okay, I will make sure to stay close to the mic.
Oh, perfect, yes. Yeah, that's a lot better. Maybe it's
cool.
the noise gate.
Possibly, I'll take a check on that. So, for you, TANE, do you remember the first time that you heard about Coco or the first piece of content that you actually clicked on and saw?
Let me see. So hearing about Coco, I was familiar with Hololive before, so let me see. I'm just trying to think back. I feel like the first few people for Hololive that I saw were Aqua, Shion, and then I started watching a lot of Korone, and then it was Coco. Coco was very interesting because I felt like her voice was very unique. I remember Coco when she, I guess, debuted for Hololive, and it was rather interesting because everyone was saying like, "Whoa, like she speaks English like and Japanese," like so she was able to interact with a lot more of like North American fans, or maybe like I guess they call like overseas fans.
Yeah, the word bridge has been used a lot tonight.
Yes. Oh gosh, like there's so many wonderful things about Coco. Like the thing that Coco brought that was, I guess, like new to like the Hololive live streaming was like the Asa Coco. So like all like the morning streams.
Yeah, the timing, now that you mention it, I hadn't even really thought of it from that particular perspective of how she helped really broaden the community and reach out to more people. But the mere fact that she would do morning broadcasts in Japan, which translates to evening broadcasts in the West, or at the very least, afternoon broadcasts for those who might be in Europe, that alone helps the accessibility greatly, because if you're broadcasting at night in Japan, that's going to be 3, 4, 5 a.m. in the United States, and even for those in Europe, still very, very early.
Oh, definitely. Like I thought it was a really interesting concept because, yeah, like you were saying, like it would be morning time in Japan, but then it would be evening time for us. Or sometimes even like I would be able to catch her like I guess like if she would stream like later during the night, because I remember she was very like hardworking. Like when she was doing the morning stream, she was doing morning and evening streams. So I was able to like catch her like when I was working in the morning too, like in the office, like just kind of like sneaking in a live stream to like watch Coco.
Yeah.
I believe even there was like a moment, I can't remember if it was her channel that was, I think it was banned shortly on YouTube, wasn't it? Because I remember there was, I think it was either Coco or it was like another member of Hololive. They
It's
had them
happened
in
to a couple
bars.
of them now, because I know that like Kiara famously has been banned at least once. I think Mel
True.
got the hammer at one point. I wouldn't be surprised if Coco had it somewhere along the line.
I think it did happen to Coco. I could be wrong, but I do remember because of like how the algorithm works on YouTube. If like a channel grows too fast, like they kind of like stop, like they shadow
It's
ban
bots,
it. kinda.
yeah.
Yeah. So the thing that was interesting about her morning streams is I remember she was getting like some of the other girls to do like skits for her. So she was getting like Korone, and I remember there was like a few of the other ones.
For her final one, it was on her birthday. She had Watame do something to help advertise it. It was actually her birthday merch.
Oh, yes. it was just rather interesting because it was like interrogation scenes. I just remember that one being very clear for like some of like the Asakoko stuff. Like she would have like things playing, but they were kind of like pre-scripted stuff, like pre-scripted videos.
Just the sort of gag variety show almost.
Yeah, it was really cool. And plus also like once all the Hololive girls like got their 3D avatar as well, she did some very interesting things with hers. Like I remember it was for her 3D debut. She did like a whole dance number, and that was really cool.
Yeah, I think that was actually it was the debut of Weather Hackers, wasn't it?
Oh, was it? Oh gosh,
I think I'm not sure. But I know
Okay.
You're absolutely right. She's done a lot with her 3D model. It was brought up earlier in the evening of just, I don't know if she was one of the first, but she is one of the many people in Hololive who makes very good use of their 3D models, even when not doing full streams, that they'll record those funny little clips of just dancing or random movements. Sometimes it's with Kanata or others. Sometimes it's just her being a little bit loopy, but really leaning into that and using everything that she has and just creating content and being herself and being silly.
Oh yes, that was the thing that I really loved about like her content. Like she was always doing something either super ridiculous or very out of the ordinary. So I remember for some of her transition scenes, like she would like be crab walking with her like 3D avatar to like do like a side swipe of transition stuff. Like it was just so funny. Plus also I guess that dragon tail like cursor like that, I'm pretty sure it's a butt plug, right?
That's the implication, yes.
Yeah. I just thought it was so funny like when she started like introducing that and like everyone's like, wow, she can like get away with anything.
Yes,
like she could just do whatever she wants.
Coco.
Yeah.
And I love that they actually made that a piece of buyable merchandise, that you can get those, that I don't know how much longer they're on sale for, but at least at time of broadcast, there's still the ongoing sale of her birthday merchandise, including the replication of the Asakoko. And Manami VT, thank you so much for the raid. Welcome in, Raiders. This is VTuber Talk. I'm Jay, she's TANE TENSHI, and this is the Coco Appreciation Show. We are celebrating the legacy and the impact of the one and only Kiryu Coco. The only rule we have tonight is that you may not speculate for the reasons of her graduation. Apart from that, you are more than welcome to share your own memories and thoughts in the chat.
I think the thing that's really fascinating about Coco as well is like, I could be wrong about this, but I think it was pretty certain though, like she was advocating for like 3D, the English-speaking VTubers, like because she was able to like do both English and Japanese on her channel, and then there was like that moment too that she was also learning Spanish for like the Spanish-speaking like viewers to interact with them.
Yeah, it's difficult to say exactly how much because we'll never know the inner workings of cover, but a lot of people trace the origins, or at least perhaps the prioritization and the timeline of Hololive EN to Coco and her content, that even if she wasn't necessarily the one in Yago's ear saying, hey, we should do this thing, that by virtue of what she did, that she herself sort of acted as a pilot and showed that there was legitimately this untapped market, that there was interest for VTubers outside of Japan.
Oh yes, definitely. Also, just with more interactivity, like for the Reddit, when she was doing like her meme reviews.
Oh yeah,
and then
just every week.
Yeah, and it's good content, right? Like, so you're interacting both with like your viewers, and then like you're showing all the wonderful like memes, and also just retweeting like a lot of art and liking a lot of art that artists do for not just herself, but the other Hololive girls too. Yeah.
In fact, I know that you yourself have actually recently done a Coco piece. I don't have it here handy with me, but the link for your Twitter is here. It's just twitter.com/Tane_Tenshi. I believe you posted that just earlier today, that you've been working on this sort of for the occasion.
Yes, I also just linked it to you right now.
Oh, awesome. I will make sure that gets into the chat. Did you have anything in mind when you were going to do this? Because obviously, I assume that this was something that when you saw that she was going to graduate, you're like, all right, my next piece is going to be Coco. Was what was your creative process in this? What made you decide which of her many outfits to use?
Sorry, just a moment. There's just a bit of noise in the background.
All good, all good.
Okay. So sorry, it cut out for a little bit for me, but you were asking about like my creative process for when I did the drawing just now,
Yeah.
or just recently. Of course, at the time of her announcement, I was really upset. Well, upset, like I guess, well, not like angry, but just emotionally sad, I guess.
Just-
like yeah,
It doesn't matter what the reasons are for the graduation. Goodbyes are sad.
Yeah, and I was thinking to myself, like, I haven't even had a chance to draw you. So I was just thinking, like, well, here's my chance, and I hope it reaches her. I wanted to do her gym uniform because I thought that one was really interesting. It has like the thighs exposed, and I think it's a very cultured uniform.
Yes, indeed.
Not to say that her other outfits like weren't great as well. I think her kimono one was really beautiful.
Oh yeah, I remember just frankly that entire line. All of the kimono outfits were just really fantastic. That the patterns were very unique. The color schemes fit the talent that they were designed for. And I remember she had. They'll do the little release videos where you see them bobbing around and smiling, and she had a little wink at the end of hers. I don't know why, but for some reason that just sticks out in my mind.
Let me see here. One of the things too is like I just kind of wanted her to have kind of like that, I guess, like dragon kind of like claw hands.
Yeah. Do you have any? Do you have any favorite memories of her or favorite pieces of content that she's made?
I want to say the morning streams were the most memorable. There was a lot of good ones. Well, there was like a lot of I guess like fake news like with the members too. It was really funny to like when she was like comparing their heights, or like she was making just like kind of like crude jokes about like the other members as well. I do remember with her and Marine. I remember she was like teaching them bad words too, even like for the Reddit streams. But she taught Marine like I'm honey.
Yeah, it was brought up earlier of just what is now Marine's just. It's her tagline. It's her slogan, and that Coco sort of brought that out of her.
Yeah, it's quite interesting how she has an energy to her that a lot of people are drawn to, and a lot of people like it. It's I can't think of what else to say. Like just all that very, very wonderful energy.
Yeah, she is absolutely a personality unto herself, and she has always been very true to herself. That she blew past any boundaries or boxes that people might want to put VTubers or idols into, and said just quite literally, "Fuck you! I'm going to be me, and I'm going to do what I want."
Oh, I think just overall it was really wonderful for. Even for all the other members, they always had like good things to say about her. There was, I feel like for her work with Hololive, it was always something that she was having a good time with. Like I think she was always like pushing things like a little bit more than she wants to do. And I think when it comes to her graduation, I think she's gonna do even better outside of Hololive, whatever like she decides to do. I think it was like during one of the clips that somebody translated on YouTube, she said that Hololive is like a small world for her.
Yeah.
Like Hololive is too small.
And that she's going on to become a superstar in another world. So it's very clear that she does not intend to stop creating content. She's not going to stop being her. That this is the end of the Hololive chapter of Kiryu Coco, and that I'm sure, obviously, we're not going to deliberately lead anyone there, but let's just say if you want to follow her, if you want to keep up with her next chapter, there are ways to find her out there, and that it's clear that she is already preparing for her next phase and her next chapter.
Oh, definitely. I feel like when it comes to the internet knows their ways, like of seeing what people do, like past their career, basically. shoot, I was gonna say something else too. I guess it was like something else. Oh, just I guess when it came down to her graduation announcement, I was very sad in that moment. But I remember it was either I think it was either at the end of her announcement or it was during one of her other streams shortly after. She said like, just stay positive, like it's okay. So I was thinking about like that one. I don't know like what quote it was from, but what was it? Don't just a minute. I had a quote ready. Let's see
If
here.
it's the one I'm thinking of, it was something along the lines of don't be sad, live
Yeah.
strong, stay confident.
There's that. Let's see here. Just a moment. There was another one. Oh, don't cry because it's over. Smile because it happened.
Oh yeah, that is a classic phrase and one that I absolutely agree with, but at the same time I also say there's no reason you can't do both.
Exactly.
It's
Mhm.
absolutely okay to cry. That, as I mentioned earlier, goodbyes are sad and endings are sad, but when all the sadness has passed, be sure to still embrace the happiness and joy that was there because, I don't think anyone is going to say they wish that this hadn't happened to avoid the sadness of graduation.
Yes, I feel that way. It's rather interesting, like I guess when it comes to like, well, VTuber graduations, because I think there's maybe a lot of people who don't expect to graduate. And I guess when it comes to graduations, we have to be happy with the moments that we spend with the people
Mhm.
that we enjoy watching or the people that we're spending time with in general. So
For sure, that a real life graduation is scheduled. All right, it's traditionally going to be 4 years that you go from first year to your last year, and you see it coming, and you plan for it, and it's going to be sad that goodness knows, especially graduating high school before going off to college when you have a lot of people going separate ways. But that you see 4 years in advance. But
hmm.
VTuber graduations, for better or worse, can sometimes sneak up on you. Sometimes you don't get much time at all. And actually, I think that's one of the most fortunate parts about Coco's graduation. The fact that we've had this month-long farewell tour, that we've had the time to internalize and sort of come to terms with her graduation, that it wasn't a simple, all right, I have 1 week or worse of just, this is my last stream, goodbye, everyone. We've had the time to say goodbye.
Oh, definitely. It's enough of a time to absorb it, like you were saying, and it's I'm just trying to think that maybe this is kind of a thing for a lot of people to maybe be confronted with, like because the other members are going to graduate like eventually for the future, right?
Yeah,
And we gotta.
this is the
Mhm.
first big one. That there have been others, but they weren't here for very long, and the Chinese branch had its circumstances and certainly did not get to have a proper farewell. That this is the first time we're really getting pomp and circumstance and seeing off someone that has been here for a substantial amount of time.
Yeah, it's something that we're all going to have to confront eventually with
Yeah.
the other members having to graduate. So,
But I think
if
they've done
anything,
right
I
by
guess
her.
this is going to be like preparation as well
Yeah.
for that.
Mhm.
But I feel like when it comes to Coco, we're all going to have like our memories of her. We all have our own special special things that we remember. I feel like she motivated a lot of people to do their best.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So we're just about out of time, but before we go, if you could deliver a special message to Coco one-on-one, what would you say to her?
Oh, I don't want to get emotional.
Oh, please do. Trust me, you wouldn't be the first tonight.
Okay, let me collect myself. um, hmm. Ah, it's kind of weird. I had something like prepared, but it's hard to say. I guess just overall, thank you for being an inspiration.
Oop. Tanya, you there? Oh.
Yeah. And also wishing her all the best as well for the future.
Mm-hmm.
And stay positive.
Stay positive indeed. And it has been so much fun sharing these memories, these just moments, these impacts, and it's clear that Coco has had an impact on you as she has so many others. So thank you very, very much for stopping by tonight, Tane. Thank you for the host, by the way, at the start of the stream. I saw that, didn't have a chance to mention earlier, but I do appreciate that as well. And as always, I wish you nothing but the best. You have a fantastic rest of the night, and I'm guessing that you and I and many others will be waking up in, about 8 hours for a stream.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, we're going to be waking up very early for when she has her final one.
Yeah, I'm going to be going to bed almost as soon as this ends.
Thank you so much for having me on. It was really nice to reminisce, but also talk about the good times.
Yeah, my pleasure. And thank you again so much for bringing all of your thoughts and memories as well. It has been a pleasure. I will see you around, Tane.
I'll see you. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.
Bye. And there goes TANE TENSHI. We have one final guest this evening. So give us just a moment while we get things all set. Because our last guest this evening is actually coming off of her own tribute stream to Coco. It's going to be NYARU. Give me just a moment to get all these things changed over. That's there. And that is there. Let's just get NYARU in here. Hopefully all of you are enjoying the show so far. Once again, thank you so much for tuning in to the VTuber Talk Coco Appreciation Show. If you have any memories that you want to share about Coco in the chat, please feel free to do so. Oh my goodness, and you're still wearing it. I love it.
You had to end off with a bang, you know.
Absolutely. Oh my goodness, one second. I want to get you resized a little bit because the live thing is not fully visible because I had
that's no problem.
Changed the sizing, but I want to have this in the shot. So let's...
I worked a whole 5 minutes on it, so it better be shown. It better be shown.
Let's see. Can I get this to work here? But while I do my little bit of finagling here, NYARU, you're coming fresh off your own tribute stream. I was actually watching it pretty much up until I had to get going to do my own sound test and everything. You were doing a full-on Coco tribute karaoke stream.
Yep. I was funny enough, she did a karaoke stream this morning, and I was going through like so many different like Coco karaoke videos because like that's my favorite thing about her is her kids are karaoke. So like I was going back and like archives people had saved from like the unarchived streams, gathering like a little list of like what songs I would do or what that she does pretty commonly, even though it's like the top 50 of the 2000s and 2010s. Not my cup of tea, but it was still very fun to do it. And for those that did show up, thank you so much for tuning in. I really hope y'all had fun. It was so fun.
Were there any that got added last minute because you saw her perform it this morning? It was like, okay, now I need to include this one.
I think definitely it was Party Rock Anthem. And I think it was just Party Rock Anthem. Oh, and all the Eurobeat that I did too, because she did Night of Fire. And I think if I remember right, Deja Vu, I don't remember.
All a bit of a blur.
Yeah, it's already been a bit of a blur. I think tomorrow's already going to be a bit of a blur, and I'm kind of glad it's going to be like that because I'll be sad less.
Yep. I was just saying to Tane before she left that I'm going to be going to bed pretty soon after this stream because I'm waking up at what is 6 a.m. for me.
5 a.m. for me, buddy.
Oh, dear.
It's not as bad as West Coast 4 a.m.
Oh, yeah. Oh, those poor suckers.
They have to go to bed like now. If you're on West Coast or West Coast, go to bed now.
Some might pull all-nighters, who knows?
I thought about it.
So for you, NYARU, do you remember the first time that you heard the name Kiryu Coco or the first piece of her content that you actually watched?
So basically, I already knew about Hololive before. The first Hololive person I ever got to know was like Akai Hato, which is Hachima. She's also another one of the bilingual streamers of Hololive, and I watched her a lot. Watched her definitely a lot during the beginning of the pandemic, and then as soon as I started getting into her, I was like, oh, I want to check out other people that are in this agency. And then I came across, I think it was like an Asakoko clip of, I think it was Coco making fun of Watame because she had bad internet. Like, she was roasting the heck out of Watame's internet connection. Because, like, if you didn't know, Watame had, like, really bad internet when she first started on Hololive, to the point where a lot of her streams were affected by it. And she was doing an Asakoko morning report, if I remember right, talking about, like, what can we, like, I think it was like, what can we do to help Watame? Her internet's so shit. And then, of course, like, after that, I just kind of spiraled down to watching more of her clips, of course. Good morning, motherfuckers, and all that.
Good morning, motherfuckers, indeed.
Hell yeah.
I don't know if you had the chance to see the opening of the stream, but I opened with good evening, motherfuckers, but also the going live screen. I spent way more time than I should have, admittedly, finding as many of the GIFs as I possibly could.
Oh
and
my god,
putting
is
them
your
on my
computer
starting
okay?
screen. Yes, well, so it was only about, 8 or 10-ish, but it was more of just having to take the time to go and search. It wasn't every Coco GIF I could find. It was every Coco GIF I could find that is on her going live stream, or going live screen. I wasn't able to get all of them, but I found, like I said, a good 8 or 10 and included a couple more to fill out the spaces. But we had her going live music. We currently have the Asakoko newscast music going in the background.
To it.
And stick around at the end of the stream and you will hear her usual stream end song as well. I made sure to cobble together as close as I could my tribute of a actual Asakoko broadcast.
Yeah. It's getting as authentic as it gets.
Yes. I can't get the full thing. You can't, perfectly replicate just the magic that Coco has, but I wanted to, do my darndest for it. For you,
I gotta say, I had the same vibe with my karaoke stream, but go on.
Oh yeah, no, I was super happy when I tuned into yours, because for your going live one, you had a big gif of her dancing and were using her pre-show music, and I was like, okay, good.
Yes.
I'm not the only person that did this. Yeah, for you now, do you, I guess, have a favorite piece of her content, or it could be anything from Asakoko as a whole, a specific stream, a specific moment that just, when you're gonna go back and look on Coco's greatest hits, what is your greatest hit for her?
So, like, cause like that's a hard one for me. My second favorite one is the one Jugasaki mentioned earlier, where she took like all the sleeping pills and then she was getting like so loopy. And then like she passed out 7 hours straight while live, and then woke up, turned off the stream, went to bed, woke up the next day, and then reacted to her stream. But honestly, like, aside from that, I have to like round it all up into her karaoke streams, actually, because they are the most soul-filled, fun karaoke streams I have ever watched, and I can't pick a favorite because every single one of them is my favorite.
Oh yeah, and that's a really good description of just soul-filled, that you can tell she is having the time of her life. She is just uninhibited joy, doing whatever the heck she wants, rocking out. Whenever I would log in and, go to YouTube and see it on the front page, Anime Girl sings karaoke, I was like, oh, guess it's one of those
anime
nights.
Girls singing karaoke. Yeah, exactly. It's funny because usually she'll stream it at night for her, but it's morning for us. So I wake up sometimes. I wake up usually around like 8:30. And I like today, like for example, woke up at my usual time, opened my thing, and Coco's doing karaoke. Time to listen to it as I get ready for today. And then a couple of hours went by, she was still doing karaoke, and it was noon time.
Yep.
She was going hard today, like very, very hard. Like
She's been going
doing
hard
everything
all month.
she could. Yeah, I know you were talking about that a lot during this past stream. Like she's been doing like literally everything she can while she can.
She's just been embracing and going out to, I've been saying, blaze of glory.
That's a perfect way to describe it.
So I think I know how you're gonna answer this question because you talked about it on your own stream earlier. But
Mhm.
just for the sake of, the question and answer of all this, is there a part of Coco's content or personality that you feel has impacted you personally?
Oh man, there's so much. Like, just her existence has impacted me so much. There's so many things. So I'm gonna keep them brief and just go through them one by one. First thing that always stood out to me was that she has definitely a much she has a very unconventional voice compared to everyone in Hololive, and because in Hololive I feel like the majority are just like oh, very very kawaii ugu, like anime, like very anime sounding. And personally for me, I could not replicate that. I have a very deep, I feel like I have a deep voice, at least. People tell me I don't, but I don't know. I personally think I do. I feel like I have a very unconventional voice. And hearing Coco, talk and be able to talk like for nonstop, well, people are still adoring her. That gave me a little bit of confidence boost that I don't need to have a cute accent or like a cute voice to be a VTuber, because that was something I really worried about, like getting before I debuted, was, are people gonna actually like me? Because like everyone I knew, everyone I was following before debuting had like cute, soft, nice voice, and I'm just like gritty, hardcore,
Yeah.
Secondly is, I don't know if I'm surprised no one has talked about. I don't know if like anyone is. I only caught around Yodo's introduction because I had to go run groceries real quick. But her singing has improved so much, even just like
Oh
the
my
past
gosh.
year. Like, I am so, like, she started, of course, like, she has the soul karaoke. We love it. But to hear her voice gradually improve for each karaoke, it gives me the strength to keep, like, pursuing and improving my voice as well and doing more karaoke so I can improve.
Because she used to be just outright, I don't want to necessarily say uncomfortable with her voice, but just unconfident in her voice.
Yeah, like she definitely held herself back. Like I feel like she feels how I feel now, where it's just like we're not confident in our voices, but really with singing, it's a thing that it takes a long time to develop confidence and getting used to hearing your own voice and accepting that this is what it is. You can do as many vocal stuff as you can do, but you're not going to change like anything about it. You're just going to improve it, if anything. And yeah, I just like over the past, just the year alone, like I know she's been streaming for a longer time than that, but the past year alone has been such an improvement in her voice. And of course now she has Weather Hackers and it was like such a perfect ending, because I've always been wondering since I started watching her a long time ago, when is she getting her original song? Because like everyone else is getting original songs, and I was like, when is it Coco's turn? When is it Coco's turn? Did she even want one? and she eventually gave it to us, and man, I learned Weather Hacker so quick. I learned it so quick when it came out.
And have you heard Kiseki Not?
Yes, I have. I was trying to learn that one in time for this karaoke, but I couldn't.
To be fair,
I couldn't
it
get it
came
down.
out 3 days ago.
It did come. Yeah, that is fair. I was trying not to be too hard on myself about it, but that is something I'm definitely going to be performing for like later karaokes.
Yeah, and just in both the official release of Weather Hackers, because she's done it live for a while now, but it's, finally actually having it properly recorded and mixed and everything, and that she's not necessarily moving around and being slightly breathless because she's running around while singing, that you can really hear just the smoothness in her voice and her really just reaching new heights of musicality that she wasn't able to previously, whether that be from lack of confidence, lack of practice, or both. That, as you mentioned, her singing has absolutely improved, and Kiseki Not, her parts, you can tell just it means a lot to everyone in Generation 4, that song. That I think is sort of going to become, there's a lot of things that are going to become iconic, I think, from this past month. And I think for Generation 4 and sort of for them and for remembering Coco, it's going to be those two songs. Songs are always good at encapsulating moments and people and emotions. And the fact that she really only has those two is going to make them that much more impactful, because it's not like she has a huge discography to pull from. It's when you hear those two songs, Weather Hackers in particular, and I am assuming we are going to see other Hololive members singing this in karaoke's, whether or not they
I
go
hope
full,
so.
whether or not they go full motherfucker or not, remains to be seen. But I'm guessing we'll see Gura singing it before too long. I'm
yes.
assuming Watame and the others will all have their turns singing that song, and it's gonna be sort of, if you know, you know, and if you don't know, that's gonna be a great moment for someone being like, why the heck is this? Why is Suisei singing this ridiculously raunchy song? I need to look into this, and then they will discover Coco.
It's gonna be a beautiful moment, honestly. Especially like you said, when those new people come in, they're like, "Who is this Coco?" And they end up doing like all this research on them. Because like for me, that's happened to me so many times. Where especially like in like the general like idol fandom, it happened to me at AKB a lot actually, where I'm just like, oh man, I like this specific member from very old videos, and me being dummy thick, looking up their thing and being like, oh, so excited, maybe I get to see them if I go to Japan. They graduated. So I gotta deal with it.
They graduated 2 years ago.
Yeah, exactly. So now people get to finally understand my suffering.
But even so, it's just great that the archive is going to be preserved, and obviously even without that, there's countless clips out there, so her memory will absolutely be maintained, and there will be those treasures for people to find along the way as the VTuber community continues to grow.
Yep. It's gonna be a very beautiful discovery when people, like, you know, find Coco, even though she's gone.
If down the line you're trying to get a friend into VTubers and you're trying to explain Coco and tell them about her, do you have a go-to piece that you might sort of use as, all right, here's your introduction to get an idea of what I am trying to describe to you?
Any Asakoko clip, any
Fair.
clip where she is saying "Good morning, mother." Okay, because like honestly, just a clip of her saying "Good morning, motherfucker." That's a good enough clip to know what you're about to get into.
in a nutshell, of seeing, okay, no holds barred. You're going into the deep end with this, and I will absolutely push you as a friend.
Exactly.
Sorry. Do you feel, well, I was going to say, has Coco influenced you? We covered that already, obviously, very deeply. Is there something about Coco that, apart from the singing, you've tried to adopt into your own content creation?
That's the thing. I think it would just be the honestly, it has to be the karaoke, how she conducts it and everything. It's like, I don't know if you noticed, it's actually pretty high production karaoke compared to like the other Hololive, because she has, like, you see like the motion graphic behind her. She has different motion graphics, like ready for any single song.
I can't imagine how big that folder is.
Right? And you know, just finding like unique ways to go about like different or unique themes, just finding new unique ways to do like the average stuff, because I know a lot of people mentioned, I think SUUGA mentioned this, is like how she really, like, I guess, like challenges like creativity within not only Hololive but just like in the VTuber scene in general. Like for me, like I don't think, like, if Coco existed, I don't think like I would be that enticed to make this cute little logo, or you know, get like these find these assets like real quick so I can pin them onto my model. And...
You're absolutely the most appropriately dressed guest I've had here, because you are sporting the whole shebang. You've got the Asakoko tail, you've got the horns, you've got the badge. Did you order the badge or any of the birthday goods?
I actually ordered the tail, because I've actually been wanting that tail for so long. I missed the first order, and then they said, we're bringing back all of the items that she has had throughout, like, all of her stuff.
Yeah. So
I grabbed the tail, like, so quick. I also wanted to get her gym jacket, but that was a little bit out of budget for me, and I was like, I'm gonna be happy with the tail. Besides, I'm a secondhand goods thrifter of the internet, so I have my ways of probably getting my hands on this kind of material if I want it later down the line.
I have no doubt. Well, we are running close to the end of our time, but it's the question I've been asking everyone. And if you've been watching, you know what I'm about to hit you with. So, NYARU, if you could deliver a special message to Coco, one-on-one, what would you tell her?
I'm gonna keep it short and sweet because I kind of already said my thank you message already. It was very long on stream. It's just, I guess, thank you for giving me the courage to be myself and work on accepting my voice for what it is. Because without you, I don't think I would have found another influence who would be as strong to motivate me like that. So thank you for at least changing my life. That's the best way I could put it.
And it's very, very well put. And you've obviously had a big day. We both have a stream to watch tomorrow, so I won't hold you too much longer, but thank you for taking time to be here this evening. Thank you for sharing your thoughts and your memories and your passion. It is, abundantly clear how much she means to you, and she means a lot to a lot of people, and that's what tonight has been about, of just celebrating the impact that she has had, because I think a lot of people are going through a lot of similar things, and I wanted, both for myself and for others, to create a bit of an environment where we could sort of come together and just commiserate and celebrate the life and times, the legacy of Kiryu Coco, because she has done a lot, and it's kind of crazy to think that she's done so much in only 18 months.
That is true. She's done a lot, and we just need to be thankful that we have all the memories, and let's make one last memory tomorrow, very early in the morning.
Very early in the morning, but that's just going to be one of the memories of it. We're going to tell tales of, oh gosh, do you remember waking up at 5 a.m. for Coco's graduation? Heck yes, I do.
Heck yeah, heck yeah.
Well, I'm going to let you go, and you are actually the last guest I have this evening, so NYARU, thank you again so much. It was a joy to have you on before, a joy to have you on again, and I'm sure you'll see me in your chats, and hopefully we'll continue to talk in less bittersweet circumstances.
I don't think that'll happen, but okay. Alrighty, thank you so much for having me, and thank you so much, chat, for listening. And I'll be here. I'm here for you. You're here for me, and let's just have fun tomorrow and enjoy the last few memories. Alrighty, thank you so much, everyone.
Talk to you later, NYARU. Thanks again.
Bye bye.
And there she goes, NYARU, and that is our last guest for the evening. Whew. It's been a show. This was a bit of an experiment for me because it's the first time I've done anything like this. I didn't necessarily want, I suppose, to do a show like this. That, as I said, this whole thing has been very bittersweet, but I'm so glad that I did it. It has been so much, well, equal parts fun and sad, but again, I wouldn't trade it for the world. People say, don't cry because it's over, smile because it happened. It was said earlier tonight. And to that I say, there's no reason you can't do both. Goodbyes are sad. And honestly, there's no better time to cry than right now because you have a lot of people to cry with. A lot of people are sad right now, some more than others, and that's okay. But no matter how sad we might be, no matter how we might cry, I doubt that anyone would wish that they hadn't learned about Coco in the first place. So let the tears flow, but when the tears have stopped, be sure to smile. Coco herself has said that's what she wants. She's also said that she's planning to become, and as mentioned earlier, borrowing a translation, a superstar in another world. She's in good health and in good spirits, and if you want to, I'm sure you'll be able to find Coco's next incarnation without too much trouble. The impact that Kiryu Coco has had on the world cannot be quantified. There's no way of knowing exactly how far the ripples of her efforts both on and off screen have reached, or how many lives she has touched. How direct were her efforts in her English streams and galvanizing English VTubers as a whole? How many people saw her joyful, irreverent singing and felt a renewed love of singing for themselves? How many saw her absurd antics and laughed when they needed it most? How many people saw her streams and said, I want to do that too? We're never going to know the exact answer to these questions, but I think it's safe to say that the world would not be the same if it wasn't for her. But, of course, just because she's graduating does not mean her influence will stop being felt. Her YouTube channel will remain, as will many memories of her, and for more people who discover VTubing as they come into the community, they will inevitably hear tales of a legendary dragon who changed the world. And when they go to learn more about her, there will be a trove of videos and clips waiting for them. Again, thank you all so much for tuning in this evening. And thank you to all my incredible guests as well. I hope that everyone was able to get something they needed from tonight's show, and even if not, I hope that you were able to smile at least a bit. If you feel so inclined, you can follow me here on Twitch and on Twitter to keep up with my regular talk show episodes. I'm Jay, and this has been the VTuber Talk Coco Appreciation Show. Thank you again, and until next time, see you later, motherfuckers!
Cut.